Thank you, guys. Welcome to the close. We're going to take you right through to 4 o'clock now. You get us, all day long. We made it to Friday. It is a positive end to the week. Nicely positive for North American markets. In fact, at this point, bounce back in some tech stocks helping along the way. As you heard, Trader Pratt and Miss V talking EV stocks as well, providing some strength. Let's jump right into how the board is looking at this point with 2 hours to go in the day. 0.67 there for the S&P, the Dow about 0.4. The NASDAQ, there it is, 1 full percent to the upside. Here in Toronto, about the same for the TSX. Everything else kind of negative, really, to wrap things up on the week. 1.35 for crude oil, 1.8 to the downside, too. For Ethereum to the downside, let's go over and have a look at individually what is making some moves. We were talking this morning, if you joined us on the morning show, about some of the consumer discretionary stocks being strong today. There's Etsy still 7% to the upside so far today, leading this group. BBY, they're having a nice day as well. Caesars and Domino's, really? DPZ, 2.9%, while some of the travel names are offsetting. So you can see all the cruise lines here in negative territory. Expedia with earnings this week, back to the downside, win as well, with a couple of headlines out this week. Here's all the airlines, mentioning the travel names here: AAL, UAL, Dow, Alaskan, and Love, all significantly in negative territory. Rest of the industrial sector, though, nicely positive to wrap up the week, as are tech stocks outside of HPE. 8% in negative territory. STX, WDC, GLW helping to kind of limit that negativity. There's Micron, 4% to the upside, leading the semis. Xilinx as well got to all-time highs. If you joined us right at the end of the morning show this morning, over on this side, we've been discussing PayPal all day, 3.3%. Strong move back to the upside for PayPal. Just to name a few quickly, we'll have a look at some of the movers over here on the NASDAQ. There's Facebook, 3.5%. Netflix, we can still call it Facebook, I think, until we get that new ticker December 1st. Netflix there, 3%. ATVI, Google, Baidu, back-to-back days to the upside. PDD, JD.com, Amazon, to name a few. One of those days, okay, it's Friday. It is 2 p.m. That means it is review time. We're going to talk specifically about some opportunities that we were discussing pre-market this morning. If you joined us at 8:30, if you didn't join us, please join us. Every single day the market is open at 8:30. We'll take you right through to the open, talk about everything you need to know as far as potential trade opportunities heading into the open, and then join us back at 2 o'clock to see how those kind of panned out. We're going to start things off with Neil, who's going to touch on Sundial, which was moving around, if you remember, in the pre-market this morning on positive news. Here comes Neil.
Yes, sir. Time to review the trade. And look, I tried, man. I actually did have a long at one point on the stock today and Sundown. We'll get into that in a bit. They did report. It was a positive number for them, in addition to a buyback as well, buyback program, which at the end of the day, it really only amounts to about 5% of the float. So look, there's a lot of shares outstanding in this company. I think that's part of the problem. It also had a huge gap up to the upside and that $1 level that we got to talk about. So the higher time frame doesn't really matter. If you go back on the daily chart, you will see that it's had some trouble breaking $1, getting to that 107, 110 area, which had been some resistance. But that didn't even come into play today. I sat down, and the first thing I saw right at like 7 when some of the retail money came in, it popped up, made a top 95, 96, and I'm immediately thinking about that dollar level, right? So I know that's going to be that wall line in the sand. I do initial short on that consolidation, scalp it out a little bit there. And then here's where I kind of like it to the long side. It didn't even retest back to 90, 91. I'm thinking, okay, high or low. If I'm going to go and take a trade off that $1, I like the dollar break. I had an order to go long, but I actually even liked retaking this 95, 96 area to the long side. Tried it a couple of times. The second time worked into 98, and then it failed at 98. Put in a double top. I got in and out of a short that I thought better of, because I really did think at this point we're testing $1. I was convinced in my mind you're not going to see any more short positions until the open, because I was convinced at that point this is a breakout if it takes out $1. I'm not going to do anything else until 9:30, and of course that didn't happen. So you have to be willing to adjust your plan. At that point, it just turns into the 9:30 rollover trade, and that's again retesting at the open, trying to pop into the high. It doesn't even get to that 98 top. The lower high at 96 gets held. I get the first consolidation. I then work my average in right to that 90, in front of that 96 at 94, 95. And then once we have the short, it's simple a matter of how I want to get out of the trade. So I want to expose myself to some of these big flushes that come in. I put my stink bids in. Thank you, Greg, for that one on the trading floor. First one's going to be right at that 90 level that we started it, and the rest into this wick here. So at this point, this is where I'm considering it about a third of the trade out, and it's going to be all the way down to that initial wick from the open. Once it consolidates and then flushes a little bit further, I'm simply thinking 85. It's a round number. I'm going 85 cents. And then once that happens, I'm now down to a third of my position. It makes a bounce, and at this point, I am thinking I want a reload. It comes back in here at about 87 or so, but at that time, I am wanting about 90 cents for a reload. So it's one of those situations where, okay, I'm favoring the short at this point. I'm looking for a place to get back in, but I want it to come back to me at a price that I like, and it never did. Unfortunately, the next trade is the consolidation breakdown at that low at 85, and then, essentially get out at 80 even. I did try to hold on to the last piece. Every time it spiked down, we'd stack on the bid right in front of an even dollar, whether it's 82 or 81, and then eventually at 80. And then this is where the experiences of the last time Sundial did something like this mattered to me, because I had a great short similarly to this a while back. And then in the afternoon, when it made a hard bottom and it came back up, I just proceeded to short every single price on the way up to $1 to watch it eventually break. And I ended up just averaging in, and then losing everything I had made in the morning and then some, almost getting shut down on the day. So I was determined not to make that same mistake. I told myself if it goes above 84, I'm just going to get the rest out and then sit it out. I didn't want the reverse to the long because I thought it might reverse at this level here at 87. No need to jump in there and overtrade something on a Friday. So we took advantage of Sundial. I wanted a dollar break. It does not happen. It turns into the 930 rollover off the lower high and consolidation. I love that setup. Just happened to apply it to Sundial. I know it's got a big short interest, but sometimes the best gap trade you're going to get to the long might end up being covering it in the pre-market. That's what ended up happening here. Let us know how you did in the comment section. I'm always curious to see how other people traded this stock here today. But this one, Sundial, one of my favorite stocks to trade, tried the long, couldn't do it, had to turn it into that short, Brennan.
It was on the watch list as well. Sundial making an appearance on the watch list, doing all kinds of volume, leading, in fact, as far as volume in the pre-market by quite some margin. So there you go. Good look at how we approach Sundial this morning. The watch list today, guys, and all week long, brought to you by MarketScreener.com. Make sure you check out MarketScreener.com if you're paying attention to or trading over in Europe. They have lots of great stuff on their website for European markets. A couple of things to note right out of the gate here. I want to talk about Shopify because, wow, 9% so far today for Shopify, all-time highs. So positivity around the e-commerce world, I guess you could call it. But quietly, Shopify having a day. Also, this story kind of was a little bit quiet this afternoon as well, 1222. This is just talking about that Republican bill or the framework, I guess, surrounding a Republican bill that we mentioned about a month ago on this show. So they're still kind of wondering whether or not this is going to make it to the House of Representatives. So a little more positive chatter for all these guys today. The cannabis names higher across the board. I just saw right now, in fact, Cron, guys, having quite the day, back to the upside. So Shopify 9% and cannabis heading into the weekend. Sounds about right.
Right? Does it? I don't know. I can tell you one cannabis that didn't head to the upside today.
Yeah, you just did that on Sundial, right?
I shouldn't, man. I know people are along that stock. So.
People are long every weed stock, man.
I know.
That's the whole point. But yeah, look, we could talk. I mean, Shopify. Let's talk about Shopify. I mean, Shopify has been a monster for a very, very long time. And if you've never heard of it, then I don't know what you've been doing. This is a Canadian company, very, very super strong. They've been housing actually a lot of the cannabis websites are using Shopify, including the one in Ontario as well. So obviously there's going to be a connection there as well, but up 10%. What a monster move for Shopify. And it's just going to continue. I mean, if you've been long at any point today, you've been a winner. And then look at the daily chart. It does give that dip into the 200 period. I mean, like this is what you have to review these. You review your positions as much as you can. Reminds me of a lot of the names that we've been looking at: Nike, Nucor, PayPal. Right now, I mean, PayPal's a little different than this, but right into some past highs. Right, like I mean, that's why it reminds me of Nike. Right into these levels here, hits it 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. Could have had those longs, and now taking out 1,655. I think no matter what we think about the reopen or what's going to happen with some of the travels names, things like that, Shopify is just a pure play on small businesses, and I think the IWM is due for a breakout as well on the ETF side. So as the economy recovers, it's just going to be more and more for small business. I feel like more and more opportunities for people to transact with Shopify websites. Of course, they get a percentage there. I believe they're now allowing to accept crypto and Bitcoin, things like that on their sites as well. So yeah, Shopify continues to be a monster winner. And wow, what a big day for it today.
Yeah, I mean, like we joke around saying that it's like, oh, this is the best company to own in Canada. Of course, it's dual listed. But there's other ones out there, but certainly Shopify is an absolute beast. And just because there was a good point there, and I want to just maybe come back to this because someone was saying how they still did well on sundial. And you know what? That's fantastic. Like, because if you came into this one looking at the short interest, looking at the consolidation, and this is something I didn't really go over here with the daily chart. If you came in here looking at, I guess, some recent spikes that you've seen in cannabis, the consolidation down here, essentially it's 60 to 80 cents, right? And knowing that the short interest is like 15% or whatever it is these days, it's somewhere around there. Yeah, I can see the reasons why you'd like it for a swing. My point was a lot of times when it has trouble following through, if you don't have access to pre-market trading, and you have to wait till the open, okay, great. You still could have got like 95, 96 when it resists. It doesn't break $1. Maybe you hang on to some for the home run. It's just more about banking that win, right? Because it's still up 22%. The day trade, there just hasn't been a day trade other than short the stock all day, outside of, I guess, long at 80. And you know what? I mean, that 80 bottom, I can sit here and give all the reasons why I didn't go long at 84. They're obviously not correct because it's a decent pushback into the upside. There's a million ways that you can trade something here, and there's no right or wrong. We're just sort of giving you guys what we see, and then what we're doing, right? So it's all about just everyone learning from each other here. I really did think, I truly thought it was breaking $1. Like, I actually had a stop long buy on sundial the entire pre-market, ready to go long if that thing broke. It just never ended up happening. I would have liked it if it had. There was another trade to be had, unfortunately, or fortunately.
The initial move right at the open as well was very strong to the upside, and actually, made me think along those lines as well. Like maybe we do get to $1 even. We'll kill two birds with one stone here: Rivian and Tesla. And I say that because Elon Musk was talking about Rivian, saying that the true test for this company is going to be break-even cash flow. So we'll see, obviously, when they report for the first time after making their debut this week on the NASDAQ for Rivian. So both on the list again this morning. Tesla to the downside after Elon was also doing some selling, according to an SEC filing out aftermarket yesterday. Again, yesterday, he was selling more shares. Today, I mean, the stock's down, so who knows? I mean, this could carry on for a week or so.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Elon's just every single time, like, hold my beer. That's a new graphic we got, and we're going to add some sounds to it or something like that.
I think we need to.
We definitely need to. You guys let us know. Like, what kind of sound would you like? Should it say hold my beer? Should we put some music in there?
Yes, it should. We've already discussed
It's like Jay and Silent Bob, actually. We're thinking of who they are, and it's like,
that's a perfect example.
I think it's more Jay and Silent Bob than it is Letterkenny, but you guys would probably know more about.
I think it's pretty Letterkenny-ish, though.
That's Letterkenny's hilarious. For Americans who haven't seen it, Letterkenny is a hilarious show. I think it just maybe didn't have enough material.
People saying Strange Brew, yeah, Strange Brew makes it.
But that'll
Kenny
work.
G in the background? What?
Kenny G. Because Rob
looks like Kenny G.
Rob looks way more like Kenny G than a lot of the things that people say.
Great call.
That's a great call. It was not a great call for me. And the only trade that was good for me on Rivian today, and I'm purposefully doing this on my chart so you can see.
What's wrong with my mic, first of all? Like, people, let me know. People don't like this mic, man. They're saying it's horrible. My mic is muffled. It is a new mic, so we're testing it out today. So bear with us on this, guys. I'll try to talk less as if that's going to happen. So take it away, Neil.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We guys are testing some things out that are new.
I'm on auto tune. It says.
We had a 130 break on Rivian, which we loved, and we liked it to 135. And this is how the day started out for me. Let's just say if I had left it at that, I'd be a heck of a lot happier. But that's not the truth. I liked the 130 break. I liked 126 as a support area. I said if that broke, we can get out. I actually reloaded when it bounced in front of 126, scalped some out to VWAPs. I'm like, okay, things have started off pretty well, 2 for 2. And then it broke the bottom at 126. I like that back to 130. I probably did not need to add in this consolidation. I could have waited right until 129, eventually got stopped out. I then got back into a trade at 128.50 when I should have been waiting for 130. It was then a scalp off 130, takes them up for a winner, making another winner here. I'm like, okay, now I can actually get some of this back. No, Rivian said. Breaks 130, I go into the long, able to get some out at 32, reload at 29, and then take a loser to the downside. So this stock, with options sort of coming in here, there was the opening break, and then look at this. Effectively, it hasn't done anything, and that's the real problem. It never broke 125. And in the morning show, I gave it a bottom channel of 125, 126, and then decided to short it on the top end of that channel at 126. If I had simply been conservative and waited for 25, it never actually triggers that, and it essentially stays, no trade after that original break. And sometimes, despite the fact that Rivian's been such a great stock all week, there's been so many opportunities, it's been a great debut for it. Today, there was the opening long, and really not a heck of a lot of anything else. And if you were forcing trades in here, you had to be really scalping it, not looking for the home runs that the stock had the last couple of sessions. Unfortunately, I was still trying to hit those home runs, and it did not work out for me. I'll have a different approach as long as it stays inside the range. When something trades like this, you just can't force the action.
You want to talk about hitting some home runs. So we have switched out the microphone microphone check 1 2 1 2. Turn this shits up. You know what I'm saying?
Turn them shit.
Turn them up. Turn it up. Okay, hopefully it's all good, guys. You want to talk about, I don't know,
They know what we're talking about.
I don't, do they? Okay, so PayPal. I mean, what a good trade for this.
Money.
Today, unfortunately,
Money.
Let that thing finish. Unfortunately, it's even worse now. The mic is awful. It's hitting what, bro? It's right here. What?
It's always like that.
What am I supposed to do? Like physically attaches to the side of my mouth? There. How about that? There we go. See, like now is it hitting something? Okay, so hopefully it's fine. It could be it could have been the hoodie string, so that might be a good call. All right, so PayPal, here it comes. We defended this 201 over and over and over again. We did it all yesterday. We didn't get the pop. Today we get the pop. Unfortunately, we were sitting right here. Not unfortunately, we meant to get this out on this level. And then it came all the way up to 206 and change, bounced around. We noticed that high right there. And we're like, you know what, man, we're going to take that. Then it gets the CNBC pop here. I guess it was one of the Nigerian brothers talking about that. Sounds like I'm inside of a box. I am inside of a box, man. Let me out right now. 209.50 right here. And yeah, the wife just keeps me inside of that for the weekend and lets me out to come back in and start the trade. Stop? Okay, back over to you, Brendan.
People ordering fries with that mic, Sean. So we'll have to see what we can do about that. Let's carry on. We'll talk a little bit about Coinbase as well. Also on the watch list this morning, Coinbase Global. Lots of positivity all week long on this company here, literally as I'm speaking. Going to day highs here for coin. So I'll show you this article. We were talking a little bit about some analyst moves earlier in the week. Here's Piper Sandler, 440 on the price target, talking about all the opportunities to come still for Coinbase, guys. So right now, 2% day highs for coin.
Really good timing there, Brendan. I didn't trade Coinbase at all today. It's not showing any executions for the week because sometimes they don't show them on the chart. You never really know what's going to happen with the ones from previous days. But this 342 half, 343 is getting taken out. There was a pullback in spot Bitcoin prices that we did observe earlier on. And we are still sort of sitting on some of those lows, which is. This is a good thing for Bitcoin here, by the way. It's for Coinbase here, is that you are still seeing that bit of a pullback in spot prices, and we haven't really bounced much. But Coinbase is going to recover and break through the high. So that kind of disconnection in a positive way, I think, is fantastic for it here. Just noting PayPal, if it was watching, PayPal now literally at 210. So that's, I don't see any size in level 2, but that's a big level. It is the high of the day, $210 straight up to that 210. There's really nothing on the offer there, but a strong move in here for Coinbase. I think if it takes this out, 350 does stand out as a previous level that was very significant, I want to say, definitely in this week. So I'm not sure it can get through that, but there's an hour and a half to go, so a lot can still happen over there, and hopefully we've got these things figured out. Sean, you're back in the old mic, right?
I am back in the old mic.
Okay.
I'm joining a Top Shot a drop right now. So NFTs, I'm number 73,000 in line right here. Top Shot NFTs is in the building. So I also got the Wall Street Bull. You guys already know about that and a few other things. Zed horses. You guys heard of those? Okay, so right now we're in line now for Top Shot. So they'll email me when that goes. I did want to talk quickly here because there's a super chat. I don't want to ignore it. So I believe here, Mr. Sasa PJ here. Yeah, I believe you mean OPEC, not OPEX, but OPEC. I'm assuming it's oil. It's next week. Again, I'll have to double check. We'll see. Brennan, is OPEC meeting next week? Because I believe that's what's going on. Yo, Zane is calling me. Yo, what's up, Zane?
Rat?
I
feel
feel
like
like
you're on air, man. Come on, Zane.
Come on, Zane. I'm gonna hang that up. I'm gonna hang that up and then tell him in WhatsApp what is he doing.
What is he doing?
Right, I know you know what he's doing. It's well, you know who he's trying to peddle. Oh man,
Who's he trying to trade?
You know, Hopkins. Man.
Oh, Nuke. Yeah, I mean, whatever. He's banging.
Come on, Zane.
Yeah.
Come on, Zane. Maybe Zane. What time is it? I'm at 2:20. We'll tell him that we talked about him on the show. Okay. So here we go. So again, I'm going to assume that you mean oil here. So OPEC deal. Yeah, they're going to come out. We'll check a daily chart here on this light sweet crude. And you know, Zane probably doesn't know that because we don't start normally 2 to 3.
Oh, he probably doesn't know.
I mean, nor should he really know our schedules. I mean, but you know, it was just fun. That was pretty cool, just seeing there. What's up, Zane? We'll talk about that very, very soon, Zaner. But okay, let's go now. So here's crude oil. Monster move to the high side right now. I don't know. I haven't looked into what OPEC's going to do, but the question is here: do we think that it will affect the market? And we should do a video on it. So thanks for that. We'll talk about this next week. We'll talk about OPEC and we'll talk about it. I think that's a good idea, Brendan. If it is next week, why don't we do a video? We'll talk about it on the show the day that the meeting is. So that's a good idea. Thank you for that suggestion. For me, obviously, it's just to talk about what's going to be happening with the oil supply, right? And I think that oil is very, very simple. It's a supply and demand situation. I mean, you used to be able to say, as oil goes up, the stock market goes down. You know, they're very similar relationships with gold as well. Things like, although obviously gold's a store of value, different than oil, but that used to be the case, right? Now you don't see that. Oil's at, what is it at now? I don't know, multi-year highs coming through here at $85. And, you know, you're not really seeing the market pull back any on oil movement. I mean, oil, this move up, the market moved up with it as well. So I'm not worried about the stock market. There are going to be a few names like an XOM, Chevron, things like that, that will move. The bigger producers tend not to move as much on OPEC news, but, you know, I am looking to short XOM. I think oil's probably topped out a bit here. So we'll have to wait to see what's happening with crude next week on the OPEC meeting. And I hope I didn't screw that up for you, but I think you meant OPEC, OPEC,
I would think
not OPEX. So thank you for that super chat, and we'll always look to do bigger and better things on our videos. So thanks for that suggestion.
Yeah, it's a great suggestion.
Yeah, I mean, energy markets are crazy these days. I think it's OPEC Plus, which is the bigger meetings, because OPEC is bi-weekly now. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, a little bit maybe next week. I wanted to mention J&J here quickly, and then we're going to discuss some Shiba Inu, guys, because there's never a dull moment when it comes to Shiba Inu. J&J ends up being a bit of a non-event here. In fact, we're on the daily chart back within this range. So they come out this morning saying they're going to split into 2 companies, and the market says, okay, as you were.
Look, man, they're not the first. I mean, you saw 3M spike today on similar, I guess, conglomerate breakup rumors, right? And then GE started this whole trend. It's not like, and this won't be the last. At the end of the day, it's definitely simplified. There's more active, I think, investors out there that are looking to make their own decisions. Sometimes a simplified story can make that a little bit easier. And J&J does have 2 very separate business entities, like whether it's the consumer products and then the pharmaceutical side, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I think like 165 right here, 164. If you're not in this stock, this is a really good value. They are maintaining the dividend. We did say in the morning show it was very unlikely to be a day trade because, quite frankly, it usually isn't. That doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities. Just, oftentimes you're not gonna see them. I suppose there was a short today, but I was never really looking to short this thing. But that was probably really, really good. But I love the fact that it's at least going to hold the most obvious level on the bottom at 164.60. I mean, like yesterday's high, resistance on the week, exactly at that price, and then on a dime, it's going to hold that one up. So it actually respected some levels here that we can definitely think about in the future. But we shouldn't be too surprised because if you looked at GE that same day when they made the announcement, yeah, it just kind of drifted down, then found support. So it was a gap up, and it drifted down. And J&J did the same thing. And I'm sure both those will end up being pretty solid buys if you don't already own them. This makes, like I said, it makes a ton of sense to me. We'll get more details on exactly what this is going to mean and how long it's going to take because, for all we know, like this, you could be talking. It's not even just years. Like it might be something where it's like well into next year before we know exactly how this is going to play out.
That's embarrassing because I did talk about taking that break in the morning, the pre-market high break, and we didn't do it. But yeah, we love J&J. It's a great investment for a long term, and I echo all of that. I'm a shareholder, been shareholder for a long time on that stock, and definitely like what they're doing. I love when companies decide to do that, man, split up and sort of, you can unlock a little bit more value there. So good call. Thanks for bringing that up, Brendo.
Let's talk about Shiba Inu, guys, because a new article in Fortune.com suggesting a few reasons as to why Robinhood may or may not actually list and give access to its clients to Shiba Inu. Here's a few points for you, what to expect in this conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about, could they just be buying before they actually add it to their system? And we'll show you a few comments that the COO of crypto trading made, including, they're in no rush to add Shiba to Robinhood, and the recent data breach, an opinion had them suggesting that maybe that would be a good way to kind of shift the PR back to the positive side. But here we go. This is the title that we're talking about here on Fortune.com. Robinhood saying they might not need coins like Shiba Inu on their platform. Is this just stalling, guys?
Look, I'm not going to sit here and speculate whether they're just stalling. I know a lot of people are saying, okay, could they be stocking up so they can get some inventory before they eventually do it? There is a line in here that's at least a little bit interesting. They said they're not in a rush to add some of those new coins, and then one of the lines they did say, while not speaking on the specifics, the firm is wary of listing volatile coins that might be dangerous for consumers or violate regulatory compliance. Now, obviously, we do know Robinhood has been in the crosshairs, I suppose, of regulators in the past. I think that's one thing you want to consider that maybe pumps the brakes on the notion that they're just doing this to stall out and stock up. I'm not sure that's going to be true. I think that's maybe a little bit tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. It's not impossible, certainly. And the reality is, here's the thing. If you look at the pullback that it's made in Shiba Inu, if you were on these highs and not sort of trending back into the downside, I really doubt that kind of a theory would actually get out there if it was on those highs. But because the price is actually fading in, it's a little bit easier for people to lean into that notion that maybe they're just sort of stalling it out, they do plan on doing it, and they're stocking up. Obviously, Robinhood, if this is going to be, like, if she was going to last, I'm sure Robinhood, at least it makes sense if they're looking to add it at some point, if it continues to have interest, they probably just have to cross their T's and dot their I's, and that's legit. I mean, they're under the radar, and they're a big company that wants to last, so they want to make sure they do everything right. So I don't necessarily think they're stalling. They're probably just doing some diligence.
I just love the rhetoric, like they're trying to protect the customers and do what's good for them. And we all know what Robinhood has been, well, not accused of, but basically what happened during the AMC and GME days. Look, I mean, I have the Shiba Inu chart up here, just like Neil did. I'm using CoinGecko here, that it's up here year to date. So, are they buying it? I mean, I don't see big volume spikes here, but obviously if you're going to host a market, they should have some inventory, so that makes sense to me there. Do I think that Shiba Inu is going to go up? So for me personally, I'm in this coin, and I do have a stop around this I'll call it 5 cent mark, but it's 5 there. I think if you break below, and you can trade these like stocks where you just have stop orders. A break here of 6, I guess, is a good level. There's so many different, a break of 6, but there's 6-1, 6-2, which makes a big difference on all of this. So I think you can just look at a chart and take it for what it is. Look, the more acceptance of a coin, the better. So, I might have a Robinhood account, but I don't have a Coinbase account. So if I want to buy Shiba Inu, it's great. Now I can do it in one spot. I can keep all my crypto together. And I think that's really what Robinhood's trying to do. I like the move. I think the more availability, the more widely available to trade this coin is, Bitcoin, anything. We know PayPal's moving into this space. Or is there? Square, all the big guys now, I think anyways, have some kind of an option to trade some of these coins. So, hey, look, let's bring Robinhood on board. I don't even know if we mentioned the poll, but the poll now, it's over 500,000 yeses, the petition to get signed for them to join Robinhood. So, hey, look, I own Shiba Inu. I've been getting in and out of it. It's just kind of, for me, it's just a trade. But hey, when momentum is there in names, we've seen it happen in the stock market. And obviously, it's happened to Shiba Inu over the last 12 months. So let the party on continue.
And just add one thing before we maybe even wrap this up, is you got to keep in mind, like Robinhood has been under a lot of pressure. And we talked about this. Look at the shares on their bottoms. Like, you don't think, especially after some of the recent data breaches and the issues that they've had, if this is something that they think is going to give them a positive headline, I think they're, of course, going to be looking to make that addition to the best of their abilities, but they probably have to be careful. Like, there's no chance that they don't want to be a part of this craze, and they have to be seriously thinking about it. So there's certainly something to it. It's likely to happen in the future. I'm not sure they're stalling, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we throw it back to Randy, I don't know why they would stall. I mean, there is a technicality there of setting up wallets and things like that. But if they, again, without knowing too much about what's involved there, it does seem like it should have happened already.
And look, the volume, the volatility has kind of gone away over the past couple of weeks. So maybe this is, a little bit of incentive for Shiba Inu to get going again. And that is obviously if. Maybe when Robinhood jumps on the Shiba Inu bandwagon, guys. That's a little look at Robinhood and Shiba Inu. Let's continue along here. Blink charging. I wanted to mention here, just popping up on volume again. We had better than expected earnings for Blink charging. Huge mover today and yesterday. So a bit of a move to the downside, it would appear, testing 40 here, guys. We're coming back into some key levels for Blink. But, I mean, we can kind of throw this in the box with all the other EV/charging station type stocks. But Blink just popping back up on some volume here.
Yeah, like this was probably as good. I mean, the 40 break on the open, and take 40 to 43. It's a similar thing to Rivian. Like, it puts in that first move, puts a dip, holds support at pre-market levels, and then puts in a second leg. And from there, it gets a little bit choppy. Now, at least there was more momentum and less barcoding in Blink than we saw in Rivian. I wish I had been more paying attention to this. It's still just as well. I can't say just as gorgeous in the chart because it's not an IPO, but the last couple of days certainly have been as good as Rivian. You can throw it into the whole space. I know Plug's been doing really well. I know FCell's been out of everyone's minds. In the case of Blink, it still has a decent chance. I like the fact that, at least in today's action, you're finding support above the 200 period. You're still looking to possibly test this 45 and then eventually, this 46.5 area here. So as long as it stays bullish, you're holding some important higher lows on Blink. I'm starting to feel, especially, and this might have been a Friday thing that I was thinking about it with Rivian, is that you want to get that first initial push and trade, and then maybe that's the best look that you could have. Because I sort of go back and look at what happened here. If you kind of look at some of these mornings where that initial dip and rip, like, that's just such a clean move. And then the afternoon, you're not really getting as much. And then the aftermarket, you have a bit of a push up, of course. So it was the same thing today. Like, that initial rip is just so nice. When it breaks out of the range and into a new level here at 40.5, that's still a tradable area. I think you got to start looking for some of those where you might not be as active in terms of in and out. The volume, fantastic on 20 million shares is really good, but that hasn't really meant that being in it active the entire day has been a great trade. There are stocks where you're able to do this. Just have a look at a day where, when Palantir gets going, like, there are certain stocks when Neil gets going, I guess, is a good example as well, where you can just essentially be in and out of it in one direction the whole time. But, something like a Blink, you probably have to pick your spots a bit. I think I'm still bullish on this name as long as it wants to hold that 40.5, hold that 200 period. Those are good support levels.
Yeah, I mean, there's been Blink Charging's just been one of them right here that's been going. Hold on, it's just closing up the Shiba Inu. No positions today. No, not in anything right now. No positions today. Quite contrary. We've had a lot of positions today. But I just want to look at XL Fleet is another name that I've had for a while, and it's not doing anything right here. I was hoping that this name would be similar to I mean, I know it's completely different, but they did have some sort of a deal with Ford not too long ago, which is why we got into this one. XL Fleet, just one of those names that's at the bottom. More work needs to be done right here. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is maybe this is a name that hasn't gone yet. So more work need to be done on XL Fleet. I hold it as a very, very small position. It was something, I forget the date. It was this day right. It was literally this day back in April. So that's how long we've had it, and it's been doing absolutely nothing since then. We talked in the pre-market at $8, ripped up there to 10 something. We weren't able to get out as we were on the show, and then as you could see, it closed the day basically flat, and ever since then it hasn't got back. It did get back to $10 here. We did get a little bit out at that time, and now we're just holding the bag on this back downside. So that's XL Fleet. I don't really know what's up with that one. I know you're going to get into more stocks, and that's the whole point of what we're doing right now. But I don't know if Disney's on the list, but this is a name that today absolutely cratered off. This is a daily chart, so this is still XL. Oh my God, come on. That's a daily chart. I want to go to the 1 minute chart here for Disney. Absolutely cratered off the open, and I was not expecting this at all. I thought yesterday, and we talked about buying this on the third day, so that's going to be Monday. I'm going to wait to see what happens on Monday, and then we'll probably buy this thing just like we bought PayPal yesterday at 202, 202.50. You're seeing Disney again giving you that retest. So if you thought that you missed yesterday, this is why you got to be patient, man. Like, some people probably came in and bought yesterday. You know, they're like, oh my God, we missed this move. This is today here. But yesterday, a nice climb. We defended that 160 area yesterday. We talked about that on the show and that we liked it. Then it just itched up all day, man, to close. I mean, we did close back here at 162, 163, but we did touch 164. So there was a lot of FOMO with Disney. People thinking, oh my God, I got to buy the dip, right? But you don't have to buy anything. And hold on, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go with this. Here it is right here. This is why everyone really felt that Disney was a buy here at 160. You ticked down to 160 before, but I still feel like if this market sells off, Disney's had a beautiful run. They missed badly on subscribers. I got an email today. Today's they're calling it Disney Plus Day. There's Shang-Chi, I guess, is the that Marvel movie comes out today. Free, yeah. So does Home Alone, whatever. So does some other movie. There's a whole bunch. There's an Italian comedy. I was telling you this today. Here, I got.
No, but you didn't say you mentioned the Home Alone thing. I just didn't realize that the Shang-Chi movie came out.
Yeah, Shang-Chi as well. Yeah. So hold on a second. I can find it. Anyways, I'll find it at some point. We could talk about it here. Disney Plus. Here it is, right here. Let's see what's happening here today. So I don't know if I can. I don't know how to bring this out, but there's Dope Sick, there's Jungle Cruise, Home Alone, a whole bunch of stuff coming out today. So we'll see what happens on that, but a move down to the downside, hey, I'm not happy with this price movement. Yeah. I'm actually going to put a buy somewhere around now, maybe 150. I think we could test that next week.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't sell any, so I ain't buying anymore. Sorry, Disney.
Yeah, there was a couple of more analyst moves, negative analyst moves on Disney. That was really it today, but yeah, big move to the downside. Speaking of earnings, we were talking at the end of the show yesterday, if you joined us about this time, about a whole bunch of IPOs or recent IPOs that were reporting yesterday. This was one of them. Warby, guys, with their first, in fact, report since coming public. What day was that? Going back to September 29th. They joined the NYSE, so out with a much better than expected report today, up 10% here. There was this volume spike that just came in as well. That was the CNBC bounce or pump, I guess. It broke through 60. It has since come back in as they were talking about this WRBY.
So this thing had no volume in the pre-market, and it didn't make our watch, or it didn't garner either our attention this morning because it had no volume. Now, when it comes to recent IPOs, I'm gonna maybe just have a special place in the iPad or something to at least make note of them, even if they don't have obvious volume or trade action or trade ideas for the open, because I mean the move here is pretty spectacular to the upside. And if you did look at if I had actually bothered to look at the daily chart, I might have actually noticed this stock making a sharp pullback off of an obvious $60 level here, and it doesn't have a lot of price history, pulling back over 10%, finding some support down around 53. And it's not to say that I would have had the long, but certainly, I mean, give me a break, right? Like when you got this test at 60, and it made what essentially is a failed break at 60, I might actually be sitting in this thing right now instead of, I'm in Unity right now, but it's the same basic trade. I could be sitting in this like short at 60. Jude, this is like a setup that maybe we could, that a lot of traders that look for that could be looking at because of the daily chart. And you're in the money, $1, $1.50 on a $60 stock, great return. But it just didn't have the volume this morning. And admittedly, it doesn't have great volume now, so it might not be that scalable, but it's the kind of thing I don't want to be ignoring. A lot of times you can have, and even these recent IPOs that are tiny, Sean, that are halting up multiple times, and we're like, we only like IPOs that are a certain size or have hype around them. You know, and I'm finding that there's some other ones here that we're just sort of missing out on. And the first time that you're reporting when you come to market, even if it doesn't look like there's a trade, maybe you want to check back in on it at the open, see if you find something interesting. Because I mean, this is essentially a 55 break, and then if you look at where it pulls back to, that's 54.5. So I mean, 55 even break that goes clean to 60, that doesn't even break 54.5. Right? That gave you. I mean, it's just sometimes there are easier setup trades. Now maybe it's not the most scalable thing in the world, but there was something here that maybe we can see next time.
Yeah, part of the problem is not being familiar with how like a specific name trades, right? I mean, we haven't really, like you mentioned, we have never traded this name. It's been only around for a month. And so, I mean, this is real, apparently, this $47. So we did wick all the way down there. So, you know, big movement back upside. I don't know. It's moving around right now. I don't know much about the report or what it's doing. So I'm going to stay away from Warby Parker. But always psychological level of 60 makes a lot of sense. How many times have we been up here? I mean, I know we're just saying the same thing here, but, you know, tick, tick, tick. Like if you take a short even right now, you know, you have, I'm just talking about even if you took it in your own swing account. Like, I don't think this is going to do anything for a day trade today, but I think as a swing trade here, why wouldn't you just short this thing? I mean, as long as you don't, you know, as long as it doesn't get upgraded and you come in, and even on an upgrade, how far does this thing go? Like 4, 5, 6%? Like, I don't know, but I think that you're probably okay here for Warby Parker. Even if you took a short right now, you're at a nice spot. And the downside, I mean, like I said, look where we're coming from today. This is the pre-market, $47. You know, with volume opening up 53, it's just a nice move upside. I believe this is a good short, Warby Parker, off this level, back down. So, I mean, if you want to take a smooth $5, I think you can maybe even get it Monday.
Polestar here. GGPI, I was just noticing a couple of headlines coming through, but nothing important. GGPI, if you joined Trader Prad and Miss V during the midday, they were talking about this one a lot because, yeah, what a move for Polestar. It's Gore's Guggenheim right now, but it's a SPAC, obviously, set to de-SPAC shortly, I think. I'll double check the date, but I think it's coming up. 12 here, guys, ends up being resistance initially, coming back in. Maybe a little bit of support here, but already up 9.25% for Polestar.
Yeah, I mean, big mover that's now not doing a heck of a lot. I mean, it just started to barcode basically like 10, 15 minutes ago and has like a 5-cent range. But before that, obviously, it was making some big moves. I did try trading this a little bit too late because opening range, oh my goodness, we talked about some range-bound strategies before. I mean, if you don't like this, as an opening range break. This is the morning. This is the top at 11:36, and sometimes, you know, you look for these trades, it never breaks the top, and it's like, well, come back to it to see what happens or when it eventually takes this level, and it does do so on volume right afternoon before 1 o'clock. It then even puts in a pullback that holds that same area for support, and then the secondary breakout right here at 11:50. You're off to the races. I decided to fade it when it rejected a double top. It was looking pretty good. I got some out at 12, and then I stopped out to eventually, you know, it's like pretty much a nothing trade. And I don't really see much to do as long as it wants to barcode. It would feel to me like if it breaks out of this range, you can probably scalp a winner. I mean, this is 12:10 to like 12:05. It's something. It's not going to sit here. We have an hour and 15 minutes to go. Like trust me, I would eat a pineapple pizza if this thing does not break this 5-cent range in an hour and 15 minutes.
What was that?
It's clearly going to break out of this range. It's simply not possible for this stock to sit here in the 5-cent range for the rest of the day. You know it's not. I'm pretty comfortable saying that.
The thing is, Neil,
a real Italian would not put pineapple on pizza. That's the irony of that graphic.
there is no pineapple, I don't think, on that pizza. That's just a pizza.
Exactly.
That's just a no. What I'm saying is that the last time you remember, I can't remember the stock it was,
Oh,
But
yeah.
you made a call like that last
I
time,
did.
and it literally backfired
Yeah,
on
it
you.
right, it didn't
we didn't have a. You said a bet of some sort, but it was something stupid. It was just something stupid. But the point is,
you're right.
what was that stock? GGPI?
No, but look, it's 5 cent
I
range.
know.
It's
But
5
now we can all hope and pray that GGPI stays in the 5 cent range. Well, you've actually already ate pineapple, but what was it? Lucas the last time gave an idea where you just was it just like wolf it down? What was that idea? Because the pizza didn't have that much pineapple on it.
Well,
right?
that was Lucas bought the pizza.
Well, Maggie did, I
Oh,
think.
Maggie was it Maggie that bought the pizza? Either way, like I ate the pizza, but it had barely any pineapple.
Right,
on it.
right,
So
that's
it was
what
pretty
it was.
tasty.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
bacon because it was a Canadian. So I mean, it was
Hawaiian.
Sorry, but it had the bacon on there, so that was pretty good. Had twice as much bacon as it was pineapple. So it could have been a heck of a lot worse. It still wasn't very great. We got a super chat, so I want to make sure we get this. Nick Dubs.
The thing is, the next time our families get together, I'm bringing a pineapple pizza and I'm giving it to your daughter because you know what's going to happen? She's going to be like, "Damn, Uncle Sean, this is the best pizza I've ever had in my life." And I'm going to be like, "That's right. Make sure you tell your dad this." And then every time you're ordering pizza, that's
You're
what's going to.
Italian, man. Well, you're supposed to be on
It doesn't.
my side.
What? So my taste buds are different.
Yes.
It's not authentic. That's for sure.
Okay. Okay.
No one's saying that. That's why it's called Hawaiian pizza, Neil.
Okay.
Hawaiian pizza.
It just shouldn't be called pizza. Call it something else, man. Call it something
All
else.
right.
I do, Nick. I do want to talk about Kodak's here because
Italians don't eat hot dogs on pizza. What is that?
now what are you
hot
guys
dogs
talking
on
about?
pizza?
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, this is getting out of this is.
And we ate so much good food today, and now I got to dwell on something which actually kind of turns.
You know
my
what?
stomach
We
little
should
bit.
do a poll. Okay, Miss V, here we go. It's poll time.
What's the point? Nobody.
Wait, guys. So
Let's go.
Maggie is on standby.
With what?
We'll see if this actually comes through or not this afternoon. But Maggie is on standby. So
For what?
there could be pineapple pizza this
what?
afternoon.
If you honestly
that
think
stock is
if you
moving.
think that stock is not moving out of 5 cents, like first of all,
The poll should be:
you know
should
damn well
Neil
I can
eat?
just hit the offer right now when it's going.
Yeah. We could just make it move
it's
5 cents. Are we allowed to say that?
Well, no, I would. First of all, just in truth, we would.
Nice,
never do
Neil.
that.
Nice idea,
Every
Neil.
single,
Manipulate the market, Neil.
Every single
Neil
trade we make is for an
Roberts.
economic purpose. Like I'm joking about that, obviously. But
SEC, don't let me be.
It's been too volatile to expect it to stay in a 5 cent range. That's nonsensical for another hour. So let's be real. I'm not eating pineapple pizza, but I am a man of my word. I will do it if somehow that stock is in that 5 cent range. It's 12:05 to 12:10. I have an hour and 15 minutes. Like, give me a break. I'm not losing that bet.
Yeah, I can make that happen, guys. Like it
Come
can
on.
be the official
Come on.
pizza of Trader TV Live.
I'm trying, Nick, to get
Trader
this
TV
going.
Live pizza. I'm going to be phoning up like Pizza tonight. I'm going to find out what it takes for us to sponsor a pizza. You know, like what Valerio was saying
bacon and
yesterday.
more
What was it?
bacon
There's
on
a Drake pizza or something. Come on, we're bigger than Drake.
What was that? V, what was that restaurant called? Blondie.
No, it's Friday.
They would do it. They would do it. I bet you.
All right,
Extra pineapple.
we'll get on that.
Extra pineapple.
We'll figure out a poll. Miss V will take some of the comments here and we'll figure out the right poll. But I mean, it could just be as simple as, do you like pineapple on pizza? Like, it doesn't have to be. I mean, we just see where our audience is. It could be something simple like that. If there's anything more creative.
You guys are on my side, man. No pineapple on pizza.
I mean, there's going to be. I wonder what it would be. I think we could just.
It'll go 50-50, I bet.
Okay. That's a good poll.
Few things to note. ACB and Hexo both popping up on volume there, guys. So a heads up on those two. Yeah, we got a, Neil was going to mention this, but I'll kick it off maybe. Neil was going to mention Co-Diagnostics. CODX, we got a super chat there. I apologize, I missed who it was, but thank you. Co-Diagnostics, huge report for them, actually. They also increased their full year forecast, I noticed. So if you remember way back to when the pandemic started, I know nobody likes to, but Co-Diagnostics was a big mover initially on the pandemic news, but back to the upside here today, guys, because of earnings.
Look, man, if you were, and Nick, here's what I'll do for you, is you go back far enough to see the level of support that this Codex has put in here at $7, first of all, and then you look at the higher low going into the earnings print. I can zoom back in so you can see what's happening. A break of 9 in the 50 period. Now, is there, like, did it stall out at the 200, which also happened to be $10? You would more or less expect that of a stock like this. So, you know, I wouldn't be too discouraged by that. I think it's pretty decent, especially if you can come back and hold $9. The fact that it looks like it's, you know, for all intents and purposes, again, I don't want to jinx things around here because apparently I might end up jinxing this this other stock, the GCPI thing. But it looks like it's a pretty safe bet to close above 9. There's not a lot of volume. There's not a lot of reasons why it looks like it's going to fall off. It's closing. It's pushing towards the highs of the day. Very, very bullish here. It resists a flush this morning to get bought back up as well. So that's a pretty bullish sign. I mean, there's a lot to like about it. I'm not going to sit here and say that I own the stock or I'm necessarily going to buy it. But if you're in this, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, whoops, I went the wrong way there. And you're thinking to yourself, do I have a good shot? Yeah, I think as long as you understand that, whether it's 8 or whether it's 7, make sure you have an out. 7 makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. That's pretty good support. You get past $12 and you got a lot of air here on Codex. So, not a bad look there. I'm going to place my vote in. The best part about this is Sean still can't vote in these.
I had to close it. I can't even see who wins.
I am going to put my vote in. Do you like pineapple on pizza? I love that it's I like, and it's not like and dislike. It's not acceptable. And it is absolutely not acceptable. What is going on? How is it 57 to 43?
For who?
For like.
Neil, we already have the graphic.
Really, eh?
We already have a graphic.
See how it is.
So I'm going to just, let's just.
There was someone, yeah.
This is both. This is ham and bacon. The thing is, if this is really going to be, Neil right here, he needs to put a little more pineapple. I think that's the only problem here. Like there should be a piece right here, and maybe like a piece on the crust here. But yeah, this is a good one. I'm actually going to post this up. Happy National Pizza Day. So thank you so much, Rob or Natalie, whoever wound up making that. That was a good one. So
that's really good.
It is really, really good. I'll probably wind up tweeting that out, guys.
Grilled pineapple on pizza is is pretty good as well. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Co-Diagnostics was earnings, guys, moving around here. There's also MAPS, which was up on, I believe it was earnings for them as well. But WM Technologies, MAPS, guys, just popping up on volume along with one from this morning, MIMO. A few opportunities here. It's about 40 minutes or so to go in the session and in the week, guys, as we head into the final hour.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, so I'm actually happy that Sundial is moving up right here. First of all, I never have anything against any stock, let's be real, but I wasn't even making this up. I got actually shut down the last time there was a short this good on Sundial, and it was just basically saying the stock can't go up today and just shorting every single level into oblivion until I was punching out at $1. Actually, it was at 101, and then losing everything and then some. And it was it was almost the exact same thing, only the turn happened a little bit earlier on in the day. So to see Sundial at 90 cents, by the way, there's a pretty big offer here. I'll show it to you guys. Yeah, a pretty big offer. That's 800,000 shares. Maybe there's a couple of other. No, it's just there's a BATS and an EDGE, but there's not a heck of a lot more past this. It could be up to 1 million shares when you factor in the dark pools that'll be there. I think that's why it's stalling out at 90 even. So Sundial on the warpath on the way back. Maybe that puts that dollar into play if it gets through here. That's obviously going to be a monster level on Sundial. So congratulations to anyone who picked that bottom. I saw some people during Memes and Movers that were talking about Sundial long, so I'm kind of curious. I really am curious if anyone was building long positions at 80 to 81, because that's gorgeous, right? I didn't have any obvious reason to like that for a buy. I was thinking 75 would be a better bottom, but Sundial on the warpath. Let's see what happens if it can take out that 90-cent level.
Yeah, talk about cannabis stocks. We're in one right now. You guys, I'm not going to be trading too much here this afternoon. I can just go over some of the trades they've already made, and I just don't want to give any of that back. Big time. I'll give it back if I see an opportunity, but I've really been crushing the open the last little while. We could talk about all the plays today: Roblox, Rivian, PayPal, Neo, AMD, just for a couple there, and we can all go over them. Follow me on Twitter if you want to see some of those trades. But right here, we're going to take Tilray back into this level. It's bounced off a couple times here, 68, 69, so we'll see if it breaks through 65. We'll take one more shot if it comes back down here. Now that I see that, I actually got to change I put the wrong stop in there, 68. It should be 65. So we break below this 65. I don't want to hold it all the way back to VWAP. Even if I give back, even $100 is too much. I don't want to give anything back here today. So we'll sit down, chill out, relax. It's been such a monster day. I'm already thinking about why didn't I hold on to AMD or PayPal or those Roblox? And we will review some of those as we go. But I think Tilray right here, a big boost. Normally, you guys know, especially if Daryl's here, some of you that have been here for a while, I like to short cannabis stocks whenever they rip up. It's just been such a bloodbath for a lot of these names, and I mean, I don't need to tell you guys that, but I kind of feel bad over the last little while. I've been saying that, let's go to CGC quickly here, because I've been saying that CGC is the cream of the crop. It's the only one that I'm invested in. I'm invested in Tilray because they bought out Afria, or I guess they merged. So that's just turned it into Tilray stock. But I was kind of like laughing at this stock the other day, if you guys remember, and just like, how bad is this going to get when it was down near $10? But now you're up 30% in just about a week and a bit. So that's a great move up here. Let's not forget about that. We talked about it the other day when it was back here. Actually, it was yesterday when it was back at this 50-period moving average. And we're like, normally I'd be all over this. So it's a nice move back, man. I mean, this maybe is the move. This is still Tilray. Oh, come on. This maybe is the move. They looked exactly the same. This is maybe the move here. That's what I was talking about yesterday, breaking that 50 period. This maybe is the move that we're looking for to get back here. So CGC, Tilray, Aurora also moving upside, Grow Generation Brands. This is my favorite for sort of an outside name, right? We were talked about this. I stamped this one in September or October of the election year, which was 2020, I think. Now all these years have just gone mad in my mind. Wait a second, was 2020? No, because President Trump was president when coronavirus. So it was, so it was September of 2020. So anyways, no, it was before September of 2021. When did the elections happen? November 21? Must have, right? No, this is November 21. November 20. So yeah, so it was September of 2020. So anyways, who cares? That's right, because coronavirus was March. So there you go. All right, so we talked about Grow Generation Brands way back here, and we had a monster move. It was back right here. I could just look at the chart. It was right back here when we started to pop up. This is when, and again, we talked about this the very next day. As soon as we saw it was the VP election debate. So, once that started going, well, you don't elect the VP, but it was the VP debate. And when Kamala Harris started talking about marijuana very, very positively, of course, it just started to go up. And this is where we stamped it right here, getting long in the teens. It was a monster move up to 65, and now you're coming back in. So this is like the Home Depot of marijuana. So as it starts to move around here, I think you can more and more. I think here in Ontario, I don't know if it's 4 plants per household you can grow or something like that, but obviously there's been an uptick in Scott's Miracle Grow, things like that. So I think Grow Generation is another name to look out for if you are looking for some pot stocks that aren't the actual stock.
I just wanted to hit this. It's Friday, man. On the Friday show, there's no way you're going on a rant in the cannabis sector and we're not going to hit that key. So completely unrelated, because I can't think of anything that's less related to cannabis, is Unity 420. I didn't say 420. 195 on Unity again. So, and I promised I would go over this because I know a few were asking, so you're in Unity already. I did short the lower high at 194. It went in the money a bit, and then it came up and retested this 195 top. I shorted it to 192, and then just got back in here. If it breaks 195, which is now the third time it's testing it, I am going to be getting out of this trade. But keep in mind, this looks pretty solid. That long looks pretty good at 190, but I lost like several times, 3 separate times this morning shorting in Unity. The only good thing is eventually I said forget about it. Once it broke that 190 on the daily, on the 15-minute chart here, that 190 went to the long. It wasn't worth fighting it past there, and then waited for it to actually hold 195. Had that pushed to 200, I would have shorted it the first time through, but at 195, I wanted to test. And now we got it. We'll see what happens. Brendo?
3D Systems, we talked about briefly in the pre-market here. There was a note about Cathie Wood, guys, adding this on this dip to the flagship fund. So it was already apparently in ARKQ and ARKX, but they've now added Triple D to ARKK. And I mean a lot of it, 51 million notional, which was about 2 million shares. Yeah. So she picked up 2 million shares on this dip down to a pretty significant level here, guys, for DDD.
Yeah, 3D Systems. Okay, so this just looks like another typical Cathie Wood kind of play here, what she always makes, buying bottoms and things like that. And you know what? Could be good. I mean, this, now that I look at this, she picked it, and it's a good one. I think that you're right at these bottom levels here. If 3D printing is going to be something, I know my kids talking about it all the time. I don't know if it's going to be a thing to worry about, but at the same time, I mean, you're right here, technically speaking. I don't like to buy anything that's too much below its 50-period moving average, but on this name, it makes a lot of sense because you can go back here and find some bottoms in August, and even back here it held. I mean, sure, it held 23, but this is not bad. I don't know the reason for this drop here. There was 6 or 7 straight days of negativity, which cracked the $24 to bring it back down. So, you know, have to go back and find out what happened in April of 2021, just this past April, because that's negative comments there. And the same thing here. Like, I don't know, as this falls down, you know, could retrace back. Every single major fall's obviously been bought back up as we approach some of these levels again. So this 25 and change seems like a decent spot. I think that's a good look for her here today. Obviously, it's bar-coded, and yeah, picking up, this might be a good value play moving forward. But it was ARC what? ARC K or ARC Q? Which one, do you know?
X and Q already have it in it, so they added it to the flagship, which is the KK, the ARKK
right.
fund.
Right, okay, so that's what I was going to say here is that, you know, find out what you want, the innovation, the main one. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different ARC investment properties, I guess, or ETFs that you can get. And you can see here, though, and I've said this, and this is not throwing shade on Kathy Wood or her team over there at ARC or anything like that, but the NASDAQ's up like, what is it, up 30, 40% this year, something like that? We can find out the exact number. But if you bought this in January, this is ARK-K, right? So the flagship, like you said, so we'll just find the date here exactly. So right into here. So 126 was January 1st, right? Today, 117. So they have severely underperformed the market, right? So this is what ARC looks like, and then this is what the Qs look like, which is, of course, it's going to be NASDAQ, not Amex, and NQ. You're going to see a completely different story here of the NASDAQ versus ARC. So I don't know whether or not you, I mean, here it's just loading up. I mean, it looks crazy, right? So this is what I'm talking about. She's big money, trying to push around a few names, but I mean, you would be down money if you invested with her Jan 1, right? If you just invested with yourself and just picked the NASDAQ, that's 306, 305, something like that. You're all the, I mean, did I say 30%? Yeah, that's basically right. From 300 to 400 right there, straight line up. So there you go. That's a good one. Thank you so much. Whoa, there's this, okay. What's up, Damien? Damien Stevens, Sticky Note Nation. You're damn right about Sticky Note Nation. Let's hit the air horn. Hopefully you guys are following some of the Sticky Note posts that we have. I haven't even read this. Thank you for everything y'all do. Rivian opening, NVIDIA, AMD, great calls, along with the SNDL for Neil to cap it off. So much life-changing. I mean, Damien, come on, that's absolutely fantastic, and I feel real proud of that, and we talk about that all the time on the show. It's about learning, and it's not about like feeding. I mean, this is the thing, like, it's about teaching. You know, yeah. we say you can lead a horse to water, right? But, you know, it's about teaching it. What were you saying, by the way? What happened? We got out of one Tilray for a win there.
I just, the only thing, again, this is, I wanted to say this.
Thank you, Damien, by the way.
So thank you, Damien, of course. I just wanted to point out that I will not be eating pineapple pizza. GGPI already broke out of that range. It did not take very long. Also, I want to apologize in advance for going long in Sundial because clearly I've now jinxed the stock and it's probably going to head down. So I thought it was probably worth it when I saw that gigantic level at 90 cents to take a shot at it. It broke the upside. And I'm like, okay, well, there was some buyers still in there. I'm like, oh, I'll just get some more shares in front of 89 where there's another stack up here. And I'm not going to let this get too far out of hand because that would just be ridiculous. I did like the notion that if it was going to do this, from the last time I traded a move like this, it did go all the way back. It did break $1. That was earlier in the day. So I'm not going to sit here, holding this back into VWAP. I'll probably just get out if it can't hold this 89 or slightly below it. But I do think it can at least get back up to 96 where the rollover happened this morning. So let's see what happens. For those of you saying it's a failed break, it's you know what, a lot of times, because it's like, if this was $88 and it pulled all the way, this is $90 and it pulled all the way back to like 89.5, you might be willing to give it up. But I think when you're trading a penny stock, whoops, it's still on GGPI, which I was just noticing that I wasn't going to lose that bet. But if you're trading in a penny stock, a lot of times you want to see the actual price action where these deep prints will come in, where the support comes in. And when it dropped back below, it just immediately saw some stacked buyers that were willing to pick it up. So that's what I'm looking at. I think until it takes out this 89, I'm willing to stick with it. I'm not even trying to take profit till it gets to 92, 92s and 93.5. but I'll likely be almost all out if it touches 95, 96. Not really thinking with less than an hour to go that it's going to get to $1, although I'd like to have some on board if it does. It was a great short, but when it makes a bottom like that, that's pretty bullish. The fact that it had several chances to slow down and roll over and has not a bad sign for it. I did just get maybe one too many times to the well on Unity, so it broke that 195. We took it several times. It was a pretty good retracement. It couldn't make it past 192, so it was never better than like $2.50, $3 there if you had this trade. And then now it looks like it's continuing to press to the upside. I mean, the NASDAQ, let's keep in mind, is going to, well, it's up at the highs, up to almost 1%, and not really showing too many signs of falling back here. And yeah, here it comes, Sundial trying to break back down. So I try to go long, and of course it fails. So apologies for jinxing that one.
People liking the Hawaiian post that I made already there. And thank you guys for coming through. I put it up there on Twitter. And someone asked, where are the sticky notes? We just posted that as well. So for you. We do them every single morning. I'm not going to do one for the afternoon. I could, but you know. Okay, let's move on. We just averaged in. I just want to talk quickly about Tilray. We'll go back to Brendan in a second. We took a piece out there at 85. We took another spot there, but you know we averaged in. We got 76s plus 84. Our average price was 78. We got out at 84 there, so I think that's 7 or 8 cents. And now it's looking like it wants to tip down. We're watching out for the 65 level. This is a small position, but we are in this. As I said, I always like to fade these marijuana stocks, but there it is. Let's see if it can go back up to the upside. We're long right now. 75 on Tilray. It's Mr. Wicked.
Another big mover from the morning, just popping back up, guys, is MRAM, M-R-A-M, which is Everspin in the semiconductor group. Just got sold off pretty hard. It broke 1050, came right back down through 10, all in one shot there on a huge volume spike. Still up, though, huge, 50%. This is earnings. You can see still some sell volume coming in on MRAM.
Yeah, like that. I do remember that was having some trouble at 10.5. So probably should have been paying attention to that. Like I love the fact that, you know, this is actually look at how clean some of these breaks are, and then it's respecting levels like those even so well. That $11. I want to see what happens. Maybe not at VWAP, but probably a little bit closer to like 925, 950. Somewhere in that area, it does feel like it could be a little bit more interesting. It had been, if you look at the daily chart. I mean, like sometimes breakouts are about as clean as they get on the daily, and this one does give you like multiple looks, you know, both whether it's like 8.25 here and then pretty clean at $9, and then you can go back and look at what happened at some of those prices, you know, earlier on in the session, right? Like on the daily chart, 8.25, this is 8.25. $9, this is $9. I mean, the levels on the daily were just as good for breakouts as they were for support later on, and that's why we jumped to the higher time frame. When Sean talks about it's us teaching, it's so that we can go over, hey, what are you looking for? Like, it's one thing to see that a stock is in play or see the news on it, but then as it's going, where do I go to find confidence in, like, this is the level I want to have for a breakout entry, this is the level I want to have for a dip buy or support, this is a reason why I should take some profit. And sometimes that can bleed over to swing trades as well. So, you know, I probably, you know, having missed out on this for the short side of the trade and, you know, obviously missed out on every single breakout long, I'm not going to chase it with 50 minutes left. Just to come back, if you're watching that sundial, it is holding up at VWAP, at least for now. And GGPI, it's not just about the fact that it's moved. Let's get away from that. I'm going to get away from that for a second. It is grinding higher. Now, I stopped out of a short right here at 1220 when I was shorting it off of this 1220 level. It is since breaking, had a failed break at that same price 1, 2, 3 times, each time more shallow. I feel like if this extends through, I mean, look at how clean these higher lows are. There's a decent chance this wants to take out the top. 1236 is what the current high is. I want to see the volume pick up. It's not really doing enough volume yet for this to break up, to have a true breakout, but it's at least on the radar now that I'm not really looking at anything else that's that strong outside of Unity, which is currently at the high of the day.
Unity's nuts. Yeah, I mean,
that's strong stock.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those stocks. There's some very, very strong names in the marketplace right now, including some of those meta names like Unity, like Roblox. And I did want to give a shout out to anybody that's like me right now today. And I feel like I found one here. Andrea, what's up, Andrea? I would do this, but we're live here with you guys. Thank you. So this is Andrea here. Thank you guys. Made 1K So now today, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day with the kids on the beach, I believe she said here.
Oh,
enjoy the weekend with my husband and son. Oh, no, it wasn't a beach. There it was. But enjoy the weekend. Yeah, so that's great. We'll see you on Monday as well, Andrea. I hope you're still here. Thank you for that as well. And thank you, Damien, one more time for the $50. I mean, I'm really glad that we've helped you, adjust your trading or, be a little more confident in your trades and things like that. That's all that really matters to us. But, not all that matters, but it's nice to hear that. So a nice move back up here for Tilray is what we're waiting for. And I just want to give a big thank you to everybody for watching us today. If you really wanted to thank us, though, guys, I really think that, oops, I didn't even hit the like button yet. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up,
Sean.
but then share it. That's the other thing. Like, I feel like we need to get more people here on our community. Like, I want to have more viewers. I'm sure we have 3,000 watching now, but we should have more. I think we should all agree with that. So if you can like it, share it, tell your kids, tell everybody, tell all your friends about this great trading show.
You know what, Sean? I'm going to share it right now with our friend Zane, just to remind him
already.
that we're on and he doesn't need to call you. I'm kind of curious what he offered you, by the way.
Well, I know he's phoning me, so I don't know. No discussions yet. But did I don't know. I messaged him. He didn't get back to me, so we'll wait on that one. But what's up to Zane as we continue to go? And this is what I want to get at. Roblox. You want to talk about taking a break now off of a trade? I wish I could take a break, but look at this. Boom! We had this Roblox long on the 150-cent break right here. So breaks longer. We were waiting for that top to happen. It happens. It breaks 100. We give it a little bit of love. Then it just spanks it to the upside, and we get out for $2, $2.50, $3 winner there as it just continues to go. The problem with this Roblox trade right here is that it bounced on these levels too many times. If it had just kept going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, then we take the top, and then it falls back down. So we're like, yeah, we did good there. And then it just exploded to the upside. The only missed trade right there was not taking it back long at 103. But wow, what a great trade that was. And we tweeted it out as well today, guys. We did take some, we did take some money off the table today. We put out a post here before earnings that we got long. So we were long 76.50 or whatever it was. We took some out today at 105 or whatever it was when I got out. So a little bit out there on Roblox, 10% out, 15% out of the Roblox position as we go. But what's up? Back to Brendan.
Yeah, another monster from this week, along with Roblox, Doordash, guys. A couple of days with huge moves. Remember, this was yesterday. They picked up Finland-based Wolt Enterprises. A lot of people thinking that was their ticket into that market. Just popped up again there at day highs on another volume spike. So still a few things left, trading some decent volume here in the last hour.
So
I wasn't even paying attention to what stock news.
No, we're talking about that was Doordash there. Doordash, by the way, I mean, continuing to press highs. I actually just checked it on my quote board that stock is just booming, so I can confirm that for you. But I did want to come and talk about news for a quick second here because, I wish I had made more than this, just the one trade. I did have, this was very, very early on in the pre-market where I actually took this to the long side. And someone had asked me like what my favorite setup was or like what the most reliable setup is. And I sort of said it's a tricky one. But it's always that 930 sort of like pop and then fade trade. Now, in the case of news, this was probably one of the trickier ones here because you do have something which was gapping, well, at least running up, had popped in the pre-market. I took a 650 breakout because I liked that on the higher time frame. And then it stalled out at 75, so I got out of it. And then you're going to see it maybe come back down. You come in close to 930. And it kind of chops up here. And it gives you this choppy move right at 930 where it's down at 6 even, it bounces off of 6, and then comes right into the previous pre-market lower high, and then the consolidation it made. And this is where I probably wouldn't be able to get into the trade and where nuance comes into it. Because I would have liked to have seen it make a high. I would like to see it make a high earlier in the pre-market and have the consolidation be a little bit more clean at 8:30, 9 o'clock, maybe even 9:15, as opposed to right before market opens, it's actually pulling back from that high. So this would be an example where it looks like it could be the same setup, but I don't know if I could have found my way into it. It's just as gorgeous in terms of once it fails at the open, it basically fails the rest of the day. But a lot of times it can be tricky. You have to be watching that stock right at the open to know, I want this one, and if it pops up and fails, I'm looking for it to reject a specific level, and I'm looking for certain things happening, especially, fading off that pre-market high or a lower high as well. So news was pretty good today. I just obviously missed out on this one altogether, and we were just talking about Doordash there. It's just super strong. I missed out on Doordash. Well, I shouldn't say missed out on Doordash. because I did trade it. Load. Oh, it was Airbnb I traded. Sorry, I missed out on Doordash. Airbnb I didn't miss out on. But Doordash is getting very close to this 250 level, which besides being a nice little round number, it has tested up here before. It's kind of one of those things where if it touches 250 before we get to the last 10, 15 minutes of the day, I'd probably look for a quick little scalp trade off of 250. It is Friday. You probably heard Sean say, you're not going to be terribly active trading. I'm just holding my Lordstown short, which has not been any problems on any point today, because you don't want to overtrade on a Friday. And you want to see stocks actually make moves and then try to participate in something moving. And speaking of that, GGPI is breaking towards that high that we talked about. Come on, load. Breaking towards that high that we talked about. It's a 1236 break long. If you took it, already up. You guys probably know that I like quarters and evens a bit better. That 36 is right in the middle of quarters and 50s. You win if you take it. I tend to stay away from that and look for the 1250 break. It's even better if it consolidates, holds that 1235, and then takes out 1250. That'd be pretty nice. GGPI can't seem to stop it. See what I mean? The stock had no chance to hold a 5-cent range for the rest of the day.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't even a fair bet.
No,
I stacked it in my favor.
It wasn't a bet even. It was.
No, it wasn't. It was just
a comment. Okay, so another one here, Meta, Facebook. I don't know when I guess the name has changed, so it's Meta right now. So we can get away with calling it that, or Meta Platforms. I forget the exact name. Let me see what Easton will calling this exactly here. Yeah, Meta Platforms. Okay, so that is what it is. So Meta Platforms now, aka Facebook, very very strong, man, up 3.5% and keeps on going. This is Jude talked about that. I tweet out my longer term plays, and we did that as well at Facebook at 311 there once that name change happened. It was a pretty easy one. Up to 340 right here. I think if we can break this high, this area, it continues to go higher. Obviously there was a nice little bottom there at 338 that was missed. And again, what we're trying to do right now is just try to find plays that can give you just that extra little bump. I mean, I don't think that even a break here, like, are we going to go back to day's high? Like, you kind of got to get lucky at this point that the market starts to move with you, which is why I only have on this Tilray trade and not really looking to do too much else. I mean, it's just, if something breaks that we really, really like, including that Facebook, we'll take that. Let's just check back on PayPal. I should still be long this name. We did get that bump from, and I thought that, that might have been it right there. We had some problems yesterday breaking these levels, but PayPal, as you can see, real early, 930, boom, 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 201, 201.70, out 203.60, and then this is our last out there, 206. So, hey, man, it's a good trade for us, and this is part of the reason why we're not trading right now, is we're waiting for big moves to happen. If they do, that's great, but we took it out right there on these highs. Good out, I felt like, and then all of a sudden, boom, right now exploding to the upside. I want to talk about it. We bought it yesterday, tweeted it out as well, 203.50, 202.50. We bought some PayPal yesterday. Nice move back up to the upside. I think you got to buy this for your long-term account. Let's check out Square quickly. This may be one that you can fade now. It's a big move today. May be able to fade this back in using 210 as your high. That could be a decent trade. Just quickly on Square, this is going to be a New York stock, so hopefully the charts will go. You see, let's go, let's go, let's go. Sometimes when we switch, it takes a little bit of a second. Square today, absolutely nothing. Does get, I guess, a very similar bump. They probably mentioned both PayPal and Square on CNBC. This obviously came right back in. It's the exact same time for the bump. On a daily chart, of course, this name also beat down. We've seen PaySafe, we've seen Square, we've seen PayPal, all well off their most recent highs. So right now, fintech struggling. The only fintech name that seems to be well, I'm sure there's more than just one. We saw Upstart get crushed. What's up to Jacqueline? Jacqueline's not around. She's been talking about Upstart for a while. But SoFi has been crushing lately. They had a great report the other day, and you could see SoFi still sticking around the highs. So although some stocks are getting demolished, not SoFi. There we go again, man. We're smoking right here on Tilray, as that's another one right there, another out. We can zoom in a little bit more here. So in, in, out, in there, out. We'll see if we can't make new highs here coming up for Tilray. So another one, hopefully trying to make some cash on this play as, 317. Not too long until weekend happens.
What's this one do?
Neil's hitting keys. Boom.
Boom. I should have done this one.
That's what
I'm
it
going to
does.
hit 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Because that's like, that one. they're so lame, they're fun.
Yeah, they're pretty
But
lame.
that GGPI takes out 1250. I like the even numbers better. We went long. And again, it's waiting for things that are actually moving, right? So this takes out the high of the day. It gets a volume spike behind it, which is what we like to see. Let's see if it can't get to 1275, next leg out. And then from there, obviously, I mean, 13 is going to stand out like a sore thumb. If we get to 13, we'll be pretty happy with that one. I did mention that I am still sitting in Lordstown. And yesterday, we had a conversation, well, a couple of things when talking about EVs. One was that, you know, at the valuation that Rivian got, and some of these names, the way they're running, like Lucid, it's like GM has to go up. It's just, at some point it comes too good a value, whether it gets the love of the retail crowd or not. Now, Lordstown, on the other hand, just seemed like, when I said this yesterday, is one that I wanted to fade. And I've been sitting in here since 7:40. This thing popped up, you know, and they delayed the release. And the earnings didn't look good, and then you're going to get a pop up at 7 a.m. So shorted into 650 because, I mean, look at 650 here in the aftermarket, and then popped up. It gave that push at 9:30 into the lower high. So it's the same. Someone asked me the most reliable trade that I like. It's this one here, right into that relief level or lower high. I then get back into it at 6:30, and then I've just been holding on to it the entire session. It double bottomed here at 560, so good chance this is probably it, and I can just get it out. I'll likely just put a trail in at 570 and see how far it goes. That GGPI, you know, certainly a chance. I should be zooming in so you guys can see it's a bit better. Certainly a chance that it wants to make a bit of a dip before it rips again. This is one where, you know, you look back to that sort of randomish 1235 level, and then have to say, if there's a dip to be bought, it's either 50s or that 35, somewhere around here. If it goes to 75, I wouldn't take the 35 dip. I'd actually be thinking about that 50. Every time it goes higher, you sort of move that dip area that you like. So GGPI off to the races. Thank you guys for pointing it out. I mean, Trader Prad, Ms. V, we're all over this one for memes and movers. I took a couple of shots at it earlier in the day that didn't work out. So we don't join the party to the long side. And that apparently is the right side. So once again, hitting a random key because it's Friday.
Yeah, it sure is Friday, man. And thank you guys for joining us here. It's been a very, very fun day. I think we might have found one. Let's hit the hot dogs off right now. Tilray still nicely in the money. But what we're doing the hot dog dance for is that the C3AI right now on a 20-minute chart looks like it's trying to battle back. Thank you guys for the chat for this one. Talking about AI. So it's just AI. It's C3AI is the company. A big one. This is another one of those Kathy Wood names. It's a relatively new IPO. I've been getting crushed lately. You know, I bought some UiPath the other day as well. This maybe I should be buying this C3AI. What a high flyer this name was when it first came to market, but it looks like right now it is trying to break right here some of these highs. So we're gonna have to watch out for C3AI. I have an order to go in if it breaks 47.50. And then again, you know, if you're not familiar with this name, here it is. What a monster it's been, and then it just got nailed downside there. So not a great anything here for C3AI, but we may be getting off a little bit here back upside. So as you zoom it in, you're looking at this 40, it's right here, 47.50. The daily doesn't look like anything, but on the 20-minute chart, this is why we use this, it does look much, much better. So this little breaking spot, obviously bad there. I don't know if it was earnings or what, I believe it was, down to 47.50 if we retake that level. May not happen today, but it's right there. And there's another one, man. Superman is back in the building. We never left, but it's always nice to get Ms. V back on the screen there as Tilray. See, the charts don't even want to change for us. Tilray going back, that's the daily chart. No, I need the minute chart. Back up. So that's a nice out again at 84 there on Tilray. So look, buy 84. Out 84, out 84, but we also bought 76s and 72s. So these are all nice little wins right here. And all we're really doing, guys, we've talked about this, is we're not, we gotta look at AMC because here comes the AMC ape. Hit the wrong button there, but all we're really doing is just coming flying in here on a nice Friday. We're enjoying ourselves, we're having a lot of fun, and we're just crashing the party with some cash. So there it is right now. We're just sort of stacking it up. I gotta save enough money to buy that pineapple pizza.
No.
Apparently they're on sale, Neil.
No, you don't. No, you
don't. What is
No, you don't.
Let's go to Ms. V when we're ready, because I want to hear an update on the poll. Don't tell me, Neil. I want to hear it from Ms. V, because again, I can't vote. So if I did, I'd be spamming it. I guess
gotta figure that out.
You can only vote once, anyways. I'll just log in as myself next time. If you're ready for Ms. V, we will go over there. Ms. V, your hair looks fine. Let's go over there. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey, Sean, everything is great. Actually, 1,136 people participated in our poll. And you know what, Neil? 59% voted that they like pineapple on pizza. So majority of people are okay with that. Good, we live in Ontario. Maybe in Quebec, we would lose. And guys, please make sure to like this video. We have 3,000 people watching and not even 1,000 likes. It's Friday. Weekend is coming, and we would really appreciate your support. Please make sure to turn thumbs up to the upside. Back to you guys.
Yay. It looked.
Yeah. Why does, you are right, Samuel Mendoza. You know what? This is the thing. No more polls. We're banning polls.
So just,
why does the poll have more votes than there's likes?
That doesn't even make any sense, man. So you can't take 2 seconds.
Polls are banned.
First of all, I'll tell you this right now. Like, I still love everybody out here. Like, it's great. That's fine.
No
you guys
more
can have
polls.
your opinion. You're wrong. But you guys, you know, it's great. Do what you do. Do what you do. I can't believe 59, eh? So that's how it's going to be. It's a little surprising. I thought it wouldn't be.
You're just in the minority, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
It is what it is. Everyone's got it. You've got to do you.
Yeah,
That's the important thing. I'm still not going to eat pineapple on a pizza unless I lose a bet. I will say this. I was looking at the futures, and of course, it's a strong day. Let's go over, and sorry, we're going to go to you in a second, Brindo. The NASDAQ clustering up here and trying to break out. The ES sort of doing the same thing at these highs. So this is straight from the horse's mouth. You know who that is? That's Arun. He's like, there's a lot of overhead resistance. There might be a push above 80, and that's on the ES to take the stops before a failure. But a consistent grind maybe wouldn't be surprising. So, Arun sort of talking about it here. There could be some overhead resistance. Come
over here just quickly.
We're just trying to make a move, though.
Yeah, I just wanted to, didn't mean to interrupt there, but I just want to show you guys the size here. There is someone right now selling 300,000 shares of Tilray right here, right now. So you got to watch out for that. Somebody's selling this. We are long. We're long a dime in the money right now, Ted says. You might not think that's a lot, but whatever. We'll take it. For sure, we'll take it. I mean, these are my executions, so I can't paint it any better than that. And then right now, we are into a new trade right now on Facebook. So alert, alert, alert on this one. New trade alert. Here comes Facebook coming right at you. So 340. Maybe we get some love up here. 340, 340.20. We'll take a piece off. There it is right now. Let's go. Bang! Come on, Facebook. Let's take this to the upside. If we could get this going, 340, 340.20. Maybe we'll take a piece out just to enjoy it, and then we'll wait to see if we go up to the upside. We've got to cash out on this one. Good move here for Facebook. Look at the NASDAQ.
Yeah, like you said, the NASDAQ's pressing. The ES is also pressing up. That's what. So when I say those levels, Arun trades the ES, by the way. So when I ask him about the futures, he's going to talk about the levels on the ES. But certainly some overhead resistance. GGPI just bounced off 1250, so still a chance that it's going to hold this breakout into 13. Brendo.
Yeah, it's interesting. The market having a day like this on the same day that the Fed confirms that they will only buy $70 billion in bonds over the next month versus 80 expected. So the tapering has begun, guys. And no one got hurt. I just saw this story too, which is kind of sad. Glenn DeVries, who went to space on the Blue Origin flight with Bill Shatner, apparently, according to CBS News, has died in a plane crash. So that's terrible. But I was going to mention.
Sorry, no, I missed that. Say that again.
Glenn DeVries. I'll open this so you guys can see. So he went up on the Blue Origin flight with Bill Shatner. Apparently has died, according to CBS.
Has died?
In a plane crash, yeah. In New
but
Jersey.
not on, okay. I mean,
well,
that's tragic.
Of course he didn't die in the...
I heard that wrong, so yeah. That's
I'm
still very tragic, obviously.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's like from getting at least
it's from like the.
Hopefully that was like one of his dreams.
Yeah, like a bucket list sort of thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Bucket list. Good word there. Okay. So in Facebook, there's 75 out 10. So that's 25.40 cents right there. We'll take that and we'll wait to see what happens now. We wanted to take that. That was a big bump up there. And again, we can't just sit here and look. Gift horses in said mouth, but there it comes, man, all the way to the upside. Let's go, Tilray. Tilray making that money right here. So we'll go with bang. Right here, Tilray up to $12.94. We gave this one to you. There it goes all the way up. So nice move here on Tilray. It's going to be a good weekend. That's for damn sure. Let's go, Tilray. To the moon here as finally, look at PaySafe, 450. Hello, PaySafe. Back to day's high on that one. PaySafe's one of my bets. Let's go, Tilray. I'm not even going to look at this anymore. This is a good trade for me right here, PaySafe, Tilray. PaySafe was a fantastic trade for me today. Not so much yesterday, as you guys remember that. But there's PaySafe up that 6%. We didn't buy any. This is the only trade I have on this today. I guess we had, that's yesterday. So here's today. Boom, buy 420 right off the open. And look at this. Got it out right here at the high of the day, 450. We're just coming back to that spot right now. But that was a great buy. I didn't want to buy anything here. We're already hit this and quit this. We're having such a great day. I mean, this is part of it. This is one of my number one stocks today. As you can imagine, we seek revenge on this one. And yeah, we got reloaded.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
And there it is, a nice little move to the upside there. As guess what else is popping right now? Hello, Facebook. Mamma mia. Facebook just continues to make its move. What's up, Meta? Nice little move to the upside on this one. And Tilray tried to crack 13 there and didn't. So let's take one more piece out.
Yeah, and speaking of taking one more piece out, I'm going to take my last piece out here on GGPI. It just made the test to 1290, so that 1250 break. Again, I mean, the top was 1236. Certainly, that was a good breakout if you liked it. I always prefer that even dollar. It just makes it cleaner for a potential dip buy. It's easier to think about where your stop is going to be because you're essentially giving it to that 1235 that goes back 15 cents. We're able to now take a 35-cent winner out of the last of it. It might take a run at 13. There's still a half an hour left in the session, right? So, this has been a strong one. Like I said, there was no chance it was going to hold that range. It does break out of it. It would seem to me like breaking 13 is a slim bet, but you absolutely never know. Thank you again. Another super chat there. I love reading these out here. Started trading 3 months back and faced huge losses, trying multiple setups. Then I found this channel, seeing you guys trade, maybe understand the execution and mentality needed. Huge thanks. I love the last part there, and that's the important part, the mentality needed. Because it's not just about, okay, this was the win, I got in, I got out here. It's, okay, I lost on this trade. What's the important part that I need to learn here? Like what mistake did I possibly make? Did I follow my plan? What can I learn from the price action? What can I adjust in the future? What stock should I be ignoring based on volume? Like that kind of thing, the thought process, the process that we go through in the morning, talking about each symbol. Okay, why or why not do we like this when it's on the watch list? What does it have to do to get me into it? And then see that evolution of following those rules. And I love pointing out when I break my rules, and then what happens so that you guys can learn from other people's mistakes. I will tell you this right now. You save yourself a lot of money if you can learn from the mistakes of others, because we all have the similar like human failures. Like we all have all the same cognitive biases, some different from others, but we're going to do the same things. And if you can learn from each other, then it's definitely going to be a valuable thing. I can certainly tell you, I've learned a lot from all the traders sitting here. I've learned things from Sean, from Arun, from Brendan, from Prad, from Valeria, even with some of her, because every now and then, like Valeria's had a trade in Tesla, and I'm like, why did I not want that? It's like, oh, I was looking at Tesla. Why did I not like that trade? And then, she'll get into it. I'm like, okay, that looked pretty good. And you can learn something from just about everybody. As GGPI is about to take this 13, ignore this wick. It did not trade at 1380. The current high looks like it got to about 98. So 13 break, still in play.
All right, debating just getting this out now. Facebook did go back up to the top and now is fading out a little bit here. I don't know why. I mean, the NASDAQ is starting to go up even further, breaking past day's high right now on the NQ, and Facebook is not following through with this. So that's bothering me a little bit right now. So we did get out of 2/3 of the trade right there. But again, I still think we could retest somewhere up here. I don't want to give... I mean, we will give it back. I mean, we're only out we're flat right now on the trade. You can see we're long at 79. But I don't know. This is a little bit disturbing to me right now. Let's just check out Apple. What's Apple doing? Back to 150, a great trade. I mean, you should just hold Apple. You don't even have to worry about trading it. Just buy this always. See, that's not dipping down. I don't know why. My favorite stock is kind of maybe AMD now, but Microsoft, yeah, look, see, this is still going to the upside. It feels like if we took anything but Facebook, we would just be monstrous right now. So let's go, Facebook. You got some catching up to do. What a different chart this looks like as opposed to the other two. So I don't know why this isn't going. I feel like if I get out now, I'll be sad because there's a possibility to make this all the way back up. You want to talk about getting out a little too early. I mean, AMD today, geez. We have a 144 tick, guys. We got out at 146. So it's like we took $2 on this, but look what's happening now. 148 upside on AMD. So I don't know. Some of these stocks look like they may be getting a little tired right now. We are into the close, coming into the close right now. Only 20x minutes left. We have the imbalances coming out at 350. So yeah, that's going to be definitely an actionable spot there. I don't know. I may just take this out. If this breaks, let's find an area. I mean, I don't really know. What are these wicks here? If this breaks this, we're going to get out of this, and then we'll just be like, okay, we lost. 339.60, we break that, we're gone. So we can make sure we keep some of the money in our pocket from Facebook, guys.
Oh, man. For some reason, I was in like long mode here on GGPI and did not even consider, like, as I'm staring at 13 refresher over and over and over again, 2 or 3 times, it just re-upped on that offer. Despite not showing any real size. I didn't take the short 98s, 99s. I probably could have done that. I just tried to get some at 93 on the way down. I'm going to cancel because obviously I missed the fill. Now it's starting to pull back in here, so you are seeing that seller work it. If they're going to get tested again, I still like the break, especially if it's not going to continue past 1275. But you got to watch out. If you haven't taken profit, if you're long this thing and you haven't taken profit, someone's pretty serious about selling it. So I still like the breakout. I wouldn't take the short the second time through. That scalp off an even dollar level to me is usually like I want it the first time. Make that quick move down, get out, and then take your money and run. If you're still in this, believe me, I would consider taking profit. Even though I like the long on a 1301 break, I'd probably cover it pretty quickly if it couldn't hold 85s. Sundial, which has been the flavor of the day. I guess I jinxed the long for myself. I had a tight stop on it. It does hold VWAP, and it's back up to 91.92. At this point, I'm cheerleading for this thing to show that dollar level because I think if this gets to $1 next week, there's going to be a great trade, whichever direction you happen to like it. Penny stocks tend to be fantastic day trades around the $1 mark, both for the short and for the long, and sometimes both ways in the same day, as long as you make sure that you have stops. I mean, that should be a gorgeous level if it can get there. We're running out of time for that to happen today. Only 25 minutes left on a Friday. You know, I don't really think it's going to have the juice to make another 10% move to the upside here. I mean, you should never say never, but I think it's pretty unlikely here with Sundial. Had this thing, here's the thing about Sundial. Like, I'll show you show the higher level chart. If we were actually, if you were sitting in this thing at like 80 to 85 or whatever, this actually sit pretty good for potential, hold. But you know, when you're sitting there and if you actually took this swing at like 70 to 72, I would easily be banking profit in front of that buck because there's going to be a breakout trade that you can probably put on if it goes any higher anyway. But this market is now screaming, so I want to shout out Arun there because we are breaking out here, and it is that grind up.
Yeah, I think it was Brendan.
That's interesting. Big move to the upside. The imbalance right now, guys, more than $1 billion to sell. But here we go. Day highs for the overall market. Backed here, BKKT. Just popping up on volume one we talked about this morning. They had earnings. They had a call that ended up being nothing. They had a big move midday on volume. This thing's done nothing but go sideways all day. But volume spike there on backed.
Like Facebook literally breaks 60 and we get out and then it just rips back right to where we got in again. So this is going to be like, we basically make like Prad's TTC fare on the way home on this trade there. We should have banked a lot more. I was nervous, man. Like look what Microsoft did. It's fine. I tried to get back in and missed it, so whatever. But look what Microsoft did when we got in. I mean, Microsoft blew up, Apple blew up, and Facebook didn't. So I feel like looking back, this may be a good out, but definitely not a good out right now. And I'm actually debating going short off of this level right now on Facebook. So I think we'll reverse this into a short now, not just because that's a big sell. Like as soon as I say that, this thing goes down 10 cents. Like I don't understand what's going on, but oh man, next time I'm going to say buy Facebook and then secretly just sell it because this obviously moving on that. I don't know what's going on. Tilray though going the other way. The market can't do anything now because we have a great price on this. So you know, as long as it keeps on going to the upside, we'll take it right now. Tilray going up, and away. PaySafe breaking out right now. This Facebook short, I think we'll try to short this if we can. Now it's coming right back in now, but that probably should have been taken there as a short. And I'm also wondering, I mean, you mentioned the market possibly coming back in here around 350. We are at a decent high right now for the Qs. So I think this is pretty good, man. 395 day highs. I want to put on a short right now.
So just quickly on GGPI here before I get to news, because I see is it Daller asking about news. We'll talk about that in a quick second. There was a break at 13. It goes like 2 cents to the upside, and immediately someone markets it down 10 pennies and then you give it like a 1 second, 2 second count, does not hold. I said the 13 break, you got to have a bit of a tighter reversal type of area there, as opposed to taking that 1250. So I do get into the short side. I couldn't even get 96 or 97. Like I was very, very quick to reverse it, and I got 93s. I've already taken some out for a 10-cent win. I will take some more out in front of 1275. Remember, that's that pullback price. And then from there, probably looking at 1250, or just maybe time-based holding on to it. News, which news is breaking back up a little bit. So
I thought he meant real news, like actual.
No,
news.
it's NUZE.
Yeah.
So it's trying to break up, but you got to put things into context. I do think it's a good it's a good consolidation. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to be able to say anything against that. And one of the things I talked about this morning was how it respected some of these levels. So again, it's held this 480. That's a great sign. It's a good level, but what ends up happening is lower high and then the hold. So it could still hold this for the rest of the day. It could hold this level next week and then possibly be put in lower highs. And instead of grinding away in that situation, a lot of times you can wait it out till it gets a tighter consolidation, like the spikes get lower, and then you catch a breakout as long as it holds that 480. Once it violates that, I think you might want to look away. But it's a good hold. It's now 2 days that you are holding the initial dip price, which does set it up for a potential runner next week. The problem about holding these things is there's always a decent chance, it can be a coin flip a lot of times, that it simply gaps below your support. And that's the trouble with swinging these types of names. You're so much more confident when you're in a higher, more liquid, a larger cap name, that you're going to respect some of these levels and not just gap through them as much without a catalyst, right? Where here, nothing can happen over the weekend and this thing could open up at $4. And it's just nothing crazy about that. That's probably just par for the course. GGPI looks like it is going to finally reward me for a short trade. Again, I guess I had to wait for it to make a rejection break. And a lot of times, the more bullish the stock, if you're trying to pick a top, the best top is where it catches a breakout long. And sometimes to find it, you got to be in said breakout long like I was. So I actually had to lose 8 cents to get myself into, I didn't have to lose 8 cents to get myself into that short, but I probably wouldn't have the short if I didn't lose the 8 cents on the long. So that's the idea there. And I want to see if it can get back, like I said, to 1250. We got about 20 minutes to go on the day, 10 minutes till we get those imbalances. I don't think this one is going to have one, but maybe we get some EV names that have imbalances.
Yeah, we also have the Market Wisdom page as well. That's not really kicking right now, but there is a Market Wisdom page that we've done, Trader TV Live. So you guys can check out that as well as we have some more videos up there. So thank you for that note as well, Damien. Wow, you've been really, really kind today. Thank you so much, Damien, for all that you've done to support us. And I hope that we continue to support you. And then honestly, guys, let's just continue this day. I mean, there it is right here. Beautiful already for the Qs, man. We're in the money now, 20 cents on this name as the market. We just talked about it being a little too high up. We're just taking some down, so we'll see if it can go now back in. We just took a small win there. We'll hold. If it's going to be a sell, like Brendan said, maybe we'll see where we go downside. But again, coming into a Friday with the market near highs, it's very dangerous to take a sell, but we'll wait to see. We still have some outs if we needed it, 396 or so to the upside. But here we go, downside on the Qs. What's up, Brendan?
A few people talking about this one, guys. VUZI, or VUZI, up 15%, just topped out there at 15, on the way back down a little bit. CES 2022. They got nominated for their smart glasses, got nominated for an award. That was yesterday, so nothing terribly exciting today, but VUZI having a nice day here. Actually, a nice week and a half or so trying to get back to the upside.
We're in grade school over here. Like all I'm hearing over there is like, like Rob, man. I wonder what he was doing that for. There he is. He's very, very excited about that VUZI commercial there, whatever that was. Okay, nice play for that, all the way to 15 and change. Now coming back in, and it's been a nice move off the bottom. Again, I think there's a lot of room to run. New technology coming through, 21 bucks a target here for this name, and we're only at 15 right now as it's starting to go. Our NASDAQ short is starting to work as well. We are short the market right now, guys, into this close. So far, so good on this position.
Yeah, and we're gonna go right back through that $13 level on GGPI. Now I could go back into this trade, but instead, given the time of day, I'm just gonna take it off. The short will end up being a winner. The last third we're gonna get out for maybe like an 8 cent loss. it could still, look, this could still run higher. I'd probably want to see it go through like 13.05. You can see like each time it's gotten a few pennies above 13, it just hasn't really followed through. I did just also, because I don't want to hold on to this forever, and it looks like Lordstown is stalled out at 560, double bottom from earlier this morning, so I just got out at 63. That's going to have worked out pretty well. Yes, I guess kind of, it's always good, I shouldn't say this, but, well, I should say this. A lot of times if you have an entire sector, and you're looking for, like, well, if I think it's a long in this or a short in this sector, what's the stock that I like? So when it comes to cannabis, if I'm looking to short something on a day that the cannabis stocks are moving, it's Sundial. It's what I'm comfortable with. And when we talked yesterday about some of the EVs, the one that I was comfortable with shorting was Lordstown. Now, candidly, I said that and then decided to then for some reason, why is it not showing up here on Rivian? Yeah, on Rivian, decided that I wanted to go heavier short than I did on the long, despite not really having that bias in Rivian. And if I had just gone 1-to-1, taking as many as I took long as short, I'd probably be flat on the stock for the day or somewhere around there. But instead, because I went 2x, and when the short didn't work, you end up getting burned. So sometimes having a bit of a directional bias in an individual name within a sector can give you an advantage. Like maybe you like going short Li Auto and long Neo, and then that helps you to trade those stocks. When you have a direction or that day that you want to go. I find every now and then it does help me. Probably should have stuck with it a little bit more with a short ride if it's going to be a short in an EV today. Kind of wish I'd looked at short Tesla because that ended up relatively weak. Surprising day. I mean, we can say all we want, or I can say all I want, how I think that the market, it could be overreacting to some of the selling because we knew this was coming down the pipeline. So some of the panicking in Tesla feels like it's a bit unwarranted. But at the end of the day, it is relatively weak. And it feels inevitable that we're going to retest that 1,000, which I don't think can be missed. That should be a pretty big event. It was a failed break last time because it went 1,000 to 990 and then was an unbelievable long. It gave you like $80. Regardless of what you took. Yeah, it went to like 1080, I think, or 1075. So it was a monster retracement through. That tells me that if it breaks and holds 990 on the way down, that could actually be some interesting selling through. And it does feel almost inevitable, unless we gap up next week, that we should see a test of 1,000, which I'll probably take the long before I reverse to a short.
Yeah, that's what we were. I don't. Oh, reverse to the short. Yeah. I was going to say.
Play it both.
I prefer the short at 1,100 if that ever comes through. We're really now bidding 75s on the triple Qs. Hopefully we can get that. A nice little win here as we've been short the market for the last 10 minutes or so, waiting for it to come back in here. So hopefully it can come in and we'll get touched at 75 and just take another piece out. So, letting this market fall in to the imbalances that are coming at 350. So we'll wait for that one to come through. Crypto's been doing quite nicely here today, considering where we were. I mean, it's still going to show that they're down 1% or so, but a nice bottom pick if anybody had that at 4,500 up to 4,600. So that's that. And there's the triple Qs. That just came out. So yes, sir, man. Like, wow. I mean, forget Facebook. This is what I'm talking about. Look at Facebook. What's the market doing right now? Moving down. What's Facebook doing? Back to these highs again. So kind of glad we left that and then turned our, attention over here to the market where this is just, falling like a rock right now, guys. Like we have this top. This is the market. So if you guys are trading futures or anything, I know Arun said that we were, at these levels. We shorted them, and now it's coming back in. So Brennan gave us that billion sell number. That's obviously going to start to get paired off at some point, but a nice move downside here. Wow, okay. We still have this on, so that's a good one. We also still have on Tilray, which is taking out the highs of the day. So, one stock taking out the highs, and of course it's a weed stock, so taking out the highs. Yeah, they write themselves sometimes. But there it is right now. Tilray going upside and the market coming back in. So here's a sell. We had the imbalances coming out at 350. So there could be, a little bit of a warning there that the market's coming for you here on the close. Right now, a big sell imbalance coming through. Maybe we'll see if it happens, but we are taking advantage of it. So I probably won't get into more shares, but it's starting to go back down.
So I saw someone saying, why are people freaking out on Plug? People are freaking out on Plug?
Are they?
Plug's literally not moving, so I'm kind of confused. I see something like that, and I'm like, I don't know, I own shares of Plug. I'm not freaking out. It's not doing much of anything. There was a lot of stocks that did this sort of crazy whipsaw action in the morning, especially in the EV and related clean energy space. So, I mean, I don't know. It's holding VWAP right now, so it's a pretty good recovery. It's down 1%. It's been a great run that it's been on. I'd be looking at something that's actually moving on the session, like into the close. If you're looking at something that doesn't move a ton right now, ATR, which someone was pointing out there, it's only up 3%, but it is a double top. So this could be one to put on the radar for next week, because if you look at something like this, which made a bit of a late, well, not a late break. This is, I guess it was an aftermarket break, I should say, on Monday, and then put in a double top, flushed, made that kind of a low. So the same low that we were talking about with NUZE, where it holds a pullback. I mean, this one didn't hold the initial, but it did hold now 2 days in a row. This pullback into $6, holds it again today. Now is trying to take out this 650 level. So this is looking like it's got a bit of a second leg for Monday, and we'll be watching ATER. So good look. Thank you guys so much for pointing this one out in the chat. And we looked at it obviously this earlier in the week when it made these moves, but I've gotten away from it, and we'll put that on the radar for next week.
Okay, yep, agreed. PaySafe failing as well off of 50 right here. PaySafe, we can just quickly look at that if you guys want to. PaySafe failing off 50, so a big move back to the down. Big move, but whatever. Back to the downside. That we absolutely hit this one early and haven't hit it since. So that's PaySafe. I did want to look at the triple Qs as we're still at this 50-54 level. The imbalances are coming like right now. So we could put on another position here around 50, 51, 52 just to see if the sell is exactly true. And if it is, then we should get some more downside movement here on the Qs. And if it's not, then it'll go back up and we'll see what happens. But so far so good on this position with only a minute and a half left until the imbalances wind up coming out. So I don't know if you have another number there, Brendan, or not, but we're getting ready to rock and roll there. Someone just said later, Prad. I don't know.
It made me look, because I'm like, oh, did Prad just walk by or something?
Prad's still there. Prad's still there. Brenda?
A little. It was 1.1, now 1. Still 1 billion with 1 minute left, guys.
All right, 1 minute left. We will take a look at when these imbalances will come out, and we'll show you live on the screen when the imbalances do come out. They'll update, and then we'll see where we go from here. So right now, looking good for the downside move. We've taken a few more shares here, and we'll just see if it does come out a billion. Then hopefully it makes a move to the downside, and we can cash out of some of these really nicely. So that's what we're waiting for now. It looks like it's trying to make a move as we speak, Neil. To the downside goes the market, but who knows? It's kind of hovering around 294.50. We'll see what happens on the NASDAQ. We are near some key levels, I guess. I don't know if we retest, if we break this or not. We'll see what happens. These imbalances are Friday, guys, so anything could happen right now with some of these imbalances.
Yeah, I mean, they'll come live here. I mean, I just have it up to see how big it goes overall, because you can get a look at some of the bigger ones as they come out, kind of the overall direction before you get a big number. And someone asking, why did I cover that GGPI short at the top, not give it a few cents? Vivek, I covered it tight because it's the end of the day. So I probably could have given it some more room if it had been earlier in the session, maybe even taken more shares on a failed break. But when it's this late in the session, I get much more conservative with those types of plays. It looks pretty mixed. I mean, yeah, definitely the sell side. Sundial, 4.5 million.
The Qs went up. I had to get out. I don't know.
Pounds here. I mean, there's some sell inbounds. BAC's a buy, actually. So, I mean, it looks like it's to the sell side, but not gigantic. Sundial's going to stick out there for 4.5 million. But remember, that's doing what, like a few hundred million on the session?
Why are my Qs trades going out like as if the stop price is already hitting? I don't know. Okay, so we're back short the Qs. We're watching Tilray here, and I don't know. I want to put out an order through 90. I don't know. Something's going on with my stop orders here as they go on the Qs. So I don't know. I'm trying to get out. If we break above 90, we'll get out. And I push bid.
Oh yeah, this Sundial
just fires right off there. I don't know what's going on.
It's not a huge move here, but overall, like I said, it's a sell amounts came in there in Sundial, and you can see it sort of pop into the downside. It was so strong, Sundial, coming into the close. It looked like it was going to make a nice strong turn and maybe even close on afternoon highs, I suppose. It's not going to get back up to 96 or even the 98 that we saw in the pre-market. Just sort of looking across some of the other names that I was tracking here. That GGPI, which had been so strong, does pull back. So Vivek, yeah, I mean, having a tighter stop here on a play like this, it was probably going to cost. We could have got that 75 again. Maybe it's going to pop down into 1250. If I didn't have to be flat at the end of the day, like I said, if we had more time for that to work out, I probably don't do that. I'll give it that extra few cents. So it's a time of day thing. You form those habits. The way I see it is it's far more likely to have more slippage. If I don't get out and it breaks that 13, I'm thinking if it goes, I'm now breaking 05s and then losing on a 93 short all the way up to like 17 pennies or 15 to 17 cents instead of under 10. So that's kind of where my mind was at there. It doesn't end up being right, but that's the thought process. Doesn't mean it was the right decision overall, but it's certainly a decision that I expect if I make it over and over again, I'm right more than I'm wrong, or at least P&L wise.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? You just want to be right more than you are wrong. So whatever, we got in and out there, a couple shorts, a couple decent outs. So all in all, pretty good. We are holding one last position here on these triple Qs. If we do break above 390, I'm just going to take 91s. If we break above 91, you can see the market starting to go back up right now. So this position, whatever. Our best out was down here at 74.75 on this, and you can see we're now short. So just a little bit there happening, out. Going to be roughly a flat trade on that. Tilray looking like it wants to take out 13 bucks right now. Hopefully that can happen. Who knows where we're going to go, but that looks like a decent spot here. I think we can just take it out now with only 7 minutes to go, man. I mean, this has been a good trade for us, bouncing around. It doesn't look like the imbalances will do anything on Tilray here. Let's check some of these out. Neil just talked about it. So Sundial's a sell. So, I mean, if we're going to be selling down here on these cannabis names, maybe we should just get out. Palantir's a sell. Uber's a sell. Everything. We've got to pick up some Palantir next week. We'll talk more about those levels next week when we go. AMD, wow, what a strong name. That continues to be true. Let's get out of some of this right now as the triple Q's falling back down right now. We are short 78 at 63. We just took a bid right there. We'll see if we can test. This is where it was before the number. So I think we could just naturally fade back down. If we put a bid now, 55 or so on the Qs, and see if we can't make a little bit more cash here.
Yeah, so I'm not going to take any more positions the last 5 minutes on a Friday, but I see people typing in the chat. It's like there's some selling going on in Clover apparently. So I don't know. Like it's like this to me. I didn't see it on the imbalance locator, but if I see a spike down at that time, sometimes I think it's a sell. I didn't see it on the locator. It's not a huge move overall, and there's really no follow through. So I would say much ado about nothing. It could just be someone betting along and covering as a day trader. They might have to get out of it in that particular case. A bit of a run that just happened. A couple of bucks there on Rivian as it tries to get to the upside. But guess what? It cannot break away from 129. It's like gravity you were saying earlier today, Sean. So the fact that it's not going to move a dollar away in either direction is not surprising me at this point. Brendo.
It's funny, somebody mentioned Clover there. I was noticing this one as well, which is CLVR. So this is Cleaver. This is actually a SPAC. So some selling on CLVR as well into the close here, guys. While I have you, let's talk about some earnings, why don't we, coming up. These are mostly Monday morning. We are getting to the end of this reporting season, obviously, but still some notable names to come over the next couple of weeks.
Milk was a poor choice.
Tyson, Vivid Seats. Okay, that could be interesting. I don't know. I don't know if that's similar to Live Nation. I actually don't know that much about it, but if it's in the ticket industry, I think there's some possibilities there. Obviously, we've seen the tragedy at the Travis Scott Astro World, so I don't know. We could check out Live Nation now, but we'll have to see. I'm not sure about Vivid Seats, but that would be what I'd be thinking about. And then everything else, I don't really have any. Is that Tyson Foods?
Well, Oatly's been getting its butt kicked.
Oatly's there too, yeah. But
this is Oatly actually. Oatly's up, by the way, 5% today going into the earnings next week. I mean, as far as non-successful debuts go, it started out well. I guess there's that, and that's the thing. Like, wow, like what a harsh rejection. Anytime you put in, you can't find support at the original IPO price when you make a good run. That's a pretty bearish look because look what happened. Like once it broke 20. It was just game over. 20's resistance. 1, 2, 3 times it tries to get up there. Then it's hugging the 50 period on the way down. So this is one that's beat up. And you got to say to yourself when it gets this low, like it just might have an opportunity to catch a bit of a bid. I want to see it in the morning. If I can, I'll probably check the short interest. But if you can see this and there's any kind of positivity out of that report, there's probably some room, especially when it puts in a nice low, and you can look at the 15 here. This is what I mean about putting in a nice low. If this is something that gets held on earnings, this 11.25 area, then that could be pretty sweet. But as far as the company goes, I mean, I'm not going to say anything decent about it there. But at the end of the day, sometimes these things get beat up too far. You saw Root give you a couple of good trades when they had a small beat. It didn't really take much for them. So Oatly kind of falls in that same boat where you wouldn't need much to have an opening range breakout style trade for Oatly on Monday morning.
So we're almost out of all the Qs here, as that's going to be a good trade on Casual Friday. Thank you so much for joining us one more time here. I'd like to see these likes get a little higher here. We had some fun with Pineapple Pizza. This futures trade turned out to be a good one for me, and I hope that you guys are able to make some money with us. And again, thank you for all the support. Thank you to Dominic. Thank you to Damien. Everybody that's been super chatting us today.
Edward here.
Yeah, pardon me?
We just got one, Edward.
Edward, what's up to Edward? Thank you so much. There, I just missed it. You guys rock. Best show. Thank you so much, Edward. It means a lot to all of us. No matter what the super chat is. I mean, we're here for you guys, so thank you so much. But if we can get that to like at least 20% more, 1,300 people watching. I mean, I think that's good. We're going to be ringing the bell very, very soon to kick off the weekend. And I mean, I hope you guys have had a good week with us.
Say kickoff.
We are back. Yeah, let's not talk about kickoff. But I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will be quarterbacking again. But that should be a good game against the Seahawks. I'm excited for that. Who do the Bills have?
I honestly, after the way the Bills lost to the Jags, I pity the Jets.
Oh, the Jets.
Because the Bills are probably going to absolutely
I think they're going to smoke
steamroll the Jets out of anger.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly.
Yes, that should be a good one for Bills fans. Hopefully that's a good one for sure. Jets are dead, I would think. But here comes the Qs. We are still short right now. 20 cents or so in the money. We just made out like bandits there on this short. We just talked about putting that on 80s, right? Man, we got it in the 50s. Unfortunately, we keep getting these wicks down here, and I have to keep on editing them. These stupid dark pools, like, that's the problem with our software. We literally plot everything, so I got to get rid of them. Here's the short. We put on so nice. We took it twice up there, making that back off that move. Tick, 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 all the way in there. So nice outs. We're holding a small piece right now as we'll wait to see what's happening today in the market. Nothing really moving too much right now as we're only 2 minutes away.
There was 1.25 million shares on the offer at 93 on Sundial. It's about, I'd say, 40%, maybe 35% of that left, and it's been getting filled. So, in that sell and bounce that was on Sundial, like, this is what's going on at 93. Forget about these dark pool wicks. This seller that's been sitting here holding it down at 93 is actually taking this fill. They're not moving the order. They're taking this fill going into the close. So my guess, I mean, who knows? Like, it could be someone putting in a short. In this particular case, because it's Sundial, that could be somebody shorting, wanting to hold it overnight. But that could also be a God mode long that someone had at 80 even. But worth noting, if you see 93 next week, file that one away if it doesn't get broken. Because sometimes when someone sells a big lot at a price, they might have more to re-up at that same price the next day. You absolutely never know, or they might take it down. So monster seller here at the end of the day on Sundial. Still a strong recovery for it. And by the way, for all, look, it was the trade of the day. You saw it. We talked about the review. And I know it was a short, but Sundial's up 27%. And it's closing at least relatively near to those highs. So a little something for everybody with this one.
For sure. It's been a great, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. We're going to go home today and we're going to watch Home Sweet Home Alone on Disney. So the kids are pretty jacked about that. Kids won a couple awards this week. So yeah, I guess we're going to get pizza tonight at my place. Although I think Marissa was making some almond crusted chicken, but we had chicken for lunch. I only had a small piece because you were like how hot fire it was. So we'll try the almond crusted. I bet you it'll be better.
Greg, before I got my lunch, Greg actually said to me, I'm walking to it, this will be the best chicken you've ever eaten in your life. I mean, it wasn't, but it was it was darn
very
good.
Close. Okay.
It was very close, but certainly it's been a fantastic week. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Miss V is going to be on the bell. She's got the green on. The market is, the NASDAQ's up 1%. Couldn't ask for a better week. Couldn't ask for a better day. Thank you guys so much. 2 and 1.
We also the problem is probably why we feel so tired too is that Valeria rolled through with these amazing croissants. I mean, I showed it on the memes and movers.
Yeah, man.
It had mine had like some banana on top.
It had like chocolate
with some kind of like yours had chocolate.
Mine had chocolate.
Oh, mine had like a banana cream or something, but it was really super tasty. But oh man,
thanks, V.
Maybe it's this sweater too as we go.
I had a
pretty
sweater
hot
this
in
morning,
here.
but I had to take it off. It was cold in the morning, even in the office. It was cold.
It's 12 degrees.
Yeah, but it's probably like 25 in here. That thing always says 23, but it's like 25 or 19.
12 degrees Celsius, like 58 or something. Not bad. That's not bad. Like, this is Toronto. Like, people like, oh, Canada, blah, 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 blah. Trust me, man. Like, if you're from Minnesota or anything, or on this chat, or Buffalo, like, Toronto feels like Hawaii pizza. What's up, Brendan?
Let's check out how we wrapped up the week here, guys. Positive right across the board. Nice way to head into the weekend. 0.76 for the S&P, half for the Dow, 1 full percent for the NASDAQ. So good way both days, actually, to wrap up the week for U.S. equities. Everything else kind of negative, as we've been saying. But everything else has also been on a huge run higher. So worth a pullback, I guess.
Doug, I assure you, Pratt is fine. The rumors of the croissants being poisoned by Valeria's boyfriend are not true.
Pratt's face turning a little green as we speak, but
now he's playing it up a little bit.
Do we have him?
Oh,
he's dying over there. You guys aren't
it.
even showing him. Like, the guy's literally dying over there. There he is. Okay, Pratt, the only thing, that's good and everything, but we can clearly see you're choking yourself. So it's definitely not the thing there. So
All in good fun.
All in good fun. Oh, I want to ask D Money. He said he was from Minnesota. So what is the temperature there, D Money, or anybody in Minnesota today? As we are 12 degrees Celsius, which I believe is like 57, 58 Fahrenheit. Yeah, he's okay, guys. He's okay. Anyways, put it in the chat. I'd be interested to hear that. I just Google what the temperature in Minnesota is, I guess. At some point, the trade of the day is SNDL. Thank you, Rob, for everything, and Lucas today for those animations. There it is.
Have one. Have a cold one.
Hold my beer. There they are. Yeah. The hardest working crew. 33 Fahrenheit right now. We almost have central Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's more around like ours. Yeah. 38 degrees in Wisconsin. You're from Wisconsin, Dominic? What up?
There you go.
It's the Packers.
Big Ten Nation.
Yeah, Big Ten Nation.
Packers, I love the Big Ten.
Yeah. We're all about Wisconsin as well. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Been a fantastic day. Thank you to Ms. V. Thank you to Trader Prad. Thank you to Brendan. Congratulations, Brendan gets to sleep hopefully in his own bed tonight. Yes. He's very, very excited for that, as are we. I'm most excited because we're getting invited at some point over to Brendan's place.
We will.
Yeah, exactly. We'll take some pictures.
When there's a kitchen, right?
When the kitchen's there, when is... you still... Any update on your range?
I was just going to say, we won't talk about that because that's like March or April.
Oh, that's still... Actually, Marissa was telling me a story, same story. One of her friends, and again, I don't know the place they got it from, but a similar example, I think it was a fridge. They have to wait for a while. But that makes sense, man. We've been talking about supply chain and everything like that. So anyways, have a fantastic weekend, guys. We're going to be busy, super busy for myself. We all have little kids, so Neil and I anyway. So if you have a family, enjoy the weekend. It should be fun. And if you don't, enjoy it as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. We're back Monday at 8:30. So rise and shine Monday, but enjoy the weekend. For Trader TV Live, Neil, Sean, and Brendan, take care, guys. See ya.